a few weapons on his back and other concealed weapons around his waist, and he dresses rather wildly with some form of inverted bear fur cloak on his back and very primitive clothes.
Frank,
Would you like to describe Frank?
Yep. Frank Whitestone is a gnome artificer, quite a smart man. He's been around for a while. He's not very tall because he's a gnome, and he's a little bit. He has a little bit of dark red skin, nice overcoat, and a tinker's tools around his on his belt around his waist.
And then the new additions, these three, they ended up meeting Lula and Saul next session. The previous session, I
mean.
Yeah. Before I begin, okay, here we go. Saul Egress is a cowboy with semi-long dark hair. It's kind of a mane, a beard. He's got blue eyes. Looks like he's about in his early, maybe mid-50s. And he just looks like a cowboy in a really threadbare overcoat. And he doesn't talk much. He's got a slate hanging around his neck in case he needs to write anything down complex. That's hard to communicate without action. But yeah, that's all.
Lula, Knucklehead, is accompanying Saul. We both come from the same farm, Pa's farm. Saul came a while ago, but enough about him. Some information about me. My name is Lula Knucklehead, and I do love a good fight. It's all I live for, in all honesty. Just a good fight. Lula wears simple farm clothes, farm girl, first adventure. Clothes are not the best, but hey, she's really impressed with her new leather armor that she bought. Real happy. And yeah, really excited for this adventure.
So, we weren't actually live when we did the recap and the intro, or John's thing. So if John, if you want to introduce John again, and then we'll redo the intros.
Sure. So John Morello, he's a half-elf warlock. His powers expressed through his eyes. He's like a bohemian charlatan with a prostitute for a mother, though she's still a nice woman. But beyond that, he's in his mid-20s. He has green hair, lime green hair that swirls up like a flame. He has emerald green eyes that are generally covered by purple tinted spectacles with golden frames. He's well dressed. He has a purple overcoat that comes down to his knees, and a dress shirt underneath with ruffles. He has a fancy cane that he usually walks around with. And he seems pretty familiar with it. He can give it a twirl every now and then. But beyond that, he's a smooth-talking charlatan who's trying to make a mark in the world.
And these characters are setting forth into me, Nick the DM's, homebrew campaign setting, which is a wild, harsh frontier. It's a diverse land with scorching deserts, cold tundras, and a muggy jungle, all encircling the wide open plain. The land is torn between hardy, freedom-loving settlers and natives, and the rapidly industrializing government trying to bring civilization to their doorstep. While airships and rail connect the land and make it smaller, the wide open plain and sky still threaten the grinding drive of progress, and while growing order comes, so does chaos come to oppose it, as increasing demand for resources creates bitter conflict. The colonial government claws for ever more power as they try to civilize the land, but they're only successful in pushing their settlers right into the hands of the natives. The natives, seeking only to protect their homeland, in growing desperation, resort to more brutal methods. The settlers, trying to escape the long arm of the law, find themselves squeezed in a vice. Independent and hardy, they are as likely to make war with either side as they are peace, demanding to be rescued or left alone depending on the circumstances of the day or perhaps their moods. The brave adventurers head out to face this brutal land and overcome its hardships. Come join us as we escape from the real world into one of fun and fantasy. We've only just begun, and there's so much more to come. And unfortunately, last week for episode 1, it was swallowed by the internet. So this is episode 2 of campaign 1. Left alone, but it's okay because we have Aslan to give us a recap of what happened.
So to reiterate, Aslan, John, and Frank arrive in the city of Trenton by train. As Aslan leaves a train, he is approached by a few angry locals who are suspicious about his intentions in the city because Aslan is a beast folk. As John and Frank arrive, they are able to defuse the situation. And after that, the party actually begins to hit it off thanks to John's charms. As this happens, as they head into the city, they spot a commotion where in what seems to be a covered wagon, an infected hobgoblin appears with tentacles and dark powers and begins to attack the party. The guards who were escorting the wagon, of course, they all run away. And the party is barely successful in defeating this hobgoblin. As this happens, the taskmaster of the village, he approaches the party and he says that he is very impressed by the talents of the party and he actually has a job for them that is suitable to their expertise. The party has agreed to take on this job and they will leave at dawn.
So the taskmaster, Mr. Ouijan, this short, old, stocky dwarven man with a single arm, has invited you guys to come to a meeting at dawn, telling you to prepare to travel. With that, you guys were left with the rest of your day in downtime. So in a single sentence, what did everybody do with their downtime? Starting with Aslan.
Aslan, he's mostly just resting from the battle and cleaning his blades a little bit. Other than that, he's following John around because he's not sure what to do here.
Yeah. And
Frank.
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Frank.
Frank went to go buy a shield and spend the rest of his time with his family-in-law.
John.
John, he's mingling with the locals, and given the fact that he has Aslan close at hand, he also plays the tables within the pit, using a trick or two every now and then when he feels he can get away with it.
Lula.
Lula.
Lula?
Oh boy, I'm in red. Hang on. Okay, I'm in yellow. Good.
Okay.
Lula spent her time getting armor and buying a herbalism kit so she can craft some potions along the way without having to buy for it. Smart girl. And also reacquainting herself with her basic skills. Let's say that.
Okay. And Saul is, I believe he went shopping, grabbed a lantern with some oil, and has probably spent the rest of the day tailing Lula and going through his drills before going to sleep that night.
Okay. As you all go off to your various places of sleeping, most of you will find your accommodation in a tent, as most of the city is made up of tents, and those rooms that are actually solid and made of wood or earth aren't available anymore, especially not for ne'er-do-wells and strangers to the city. But with that said, as you guys, the night sky descended upon the plains around Tenton, you gaze up into the sky, and amongst the glittering stars, sparkling in the darkness, you see the light increasing, and then flashing, and then across the sky. Red, it almost glows, and then as quickly as it appears, disappears in the west. You all settle in, sleep the night through. You can all take a long rest. I don't know if you did after the last session, but you can recover all your stuff. And at dawn, everybody wakes. It's hard not to wake at dawn with the amount of noise that happens throughout the camp. The absolute chaos of the just cramped human conditions mean that if the light didn't wake you up, the noise would, and if the noise didn't wake you up, the smell probably would. Whoever thinks they would be the first up is welcome to go up first. I don't know if that would be Saul or Frank or...
Wait,
Probably Frank.
question for you. Didn't we rent rooms in the pit?
Oh, no, you didn't. You said you were gonna, but you never managed to.
Okay, gotcha.
I think Saul probably wakes up pretty early. I don't know if anyone else would want to wake up earlier.
I think Frank would wake up first,
Okay.
and basically leave his have some breakfast and grab the paper from after his mother-in-law is done reading it. He grabs the paper and goes out to find his companions somewhere in the city. And on the way, he would read the paper.
So tell us what's happening in the paper.
So the paper. I don't know if we're going to display it, but it says on really large font. It says "Colony Chronicle: The Voice of the Colony," and then it has a couple headlines stating "Heroic Defense at Sun Hill Mission Station," and then another one that says "Rail on Track," says ARC or ARC. And then at the bottom it has, "In this issue, is Delta City ready to host Solar's Festival?" And "Gem Rush Bust, Misguided Mistake or Complicated Ruse?" And the last one says, "Siege of the Spire Hold enters 4th month." And that's the paper.
All right.
So, with Frank reading the paper, waiting outside Mr. Weegen's office, Frank also would have seen Mr. Weegen's name in the letter that invited Frank to come for a job in Tenton. Would have been signed by Mr. Weegen as well. So this is someone you recognize, and well, not recognize. You've never met him personally, but someone you know of. Saul, you would be up, I imagine, at crack of dawn, doing push-ups or something.
Yeah, probably that, going through routines or drills of different hand-to-hand combat techniques, checking his gun, cleaning his gun if he needs to, that sort of thing.
Cool.
He might actually be kind of loud about it. He might wake other people up.
One of those people being Lula, I assume.
Probably.
Oh, we can't hear you.
Yeah, I can't.
Can't hear him.
You're breaking up, Lutando. Oh no.
I mean, from the video, I can infer what he's saying.
We can-
A little bit, yeah.
Nah. Why do you have to be so loud, Saul?
He's gonna knock on the. He's gonna knock on the wall that's between them. As kind of a jovial, good morning knock.
Okay, I'm up. Okay, fine. I hate you.
And where would Aslan and John drag themselves out of?
Well, I mean, there's no rooms in the pit. John doesn't know anyone. Like, what would his options be?
There's tents. And considering that most people would have seen what you did, you probably could have hustled yourself a reasonable tent.
Okay. Well, in that case, John had stayed up late, playing cards throughout the night, and trying to convince people to like buy him drinks, given what he did. And then also he would, I suppose, he would have tried to use his newly acquired, small bit of fame here within Tenton to seduce a woman and sleep out of her tent. And because of this, he would have arrived at the meeting late, hungover, and looking a little disheveled.
I like to imagine his hair's drooping just a little bit.
Yeah, it's not like going straight up. It's a little bit off to the side. His hair looks a little limp today, and off kilter.
And then what about Aslan?
Asla probably would have hung with John until about 10 or so, or 11. Probably when he was still playing cards. And he would have head out to walk around the city and look for somewhere for him to curl up and sleep.
Okay. You can find a nice comfy cardboard box somewhere.
Perfect. He loves cardboard boxes. He snuggles in it and sleeps
like
until
7
about
feet.
4. Yeah, but you know,
Have you never
he's-
seen a cat getting into a very small cardboard box? They're made of liquid, bro.
Okay, no, fair enough. Fair enough. His weapons aren't, but fair enough.
So yeah.
Okay.
So as John arrives to the meeting, most likely being the last of them all, he's like, "Oh my god, how does anyone get any sleep in this town? The nights are just too fun, and the mornings are so loud."
What was so fun at night? What happened?
Just getting acquainted with the locals and making a coin or two, if I may add, as he says, as he does a coin trick over his knuckles.
So you play games? Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. Invite me next time.
A man must make a living and have some fun every now and then.
You
says
got
with
you
a
got
smile.
money from playing games?
Not too much. You just got to play the right games, my friends. Cards, bones, take your pick. You just got to know your crowd and make sure you don't get eaten by a shark.
I'll check it out sometime. You gotta show me that sometime. I gotta
Sure.
get some coinage.
Sure. Well, we were hoping to get some coinage here at this meeting, right? Where's Mr. Ouijan?
As you are saying this, you notice that behind you, he's a bit short, which made him not so obvious to see. He goes, "Here I am, morning, morning." And the short, dwarven old man, he has a great big beard tied off at the end. He has wrinkles, years of experience, but it's not only that he's old, his face is worn. He's an old man, and it's all been on dirt roads, On top of that, he has an arm that ends just below the shoulder. But he still wears a fine suit, and though it does look a bit shabby and misplaced on him, because he's clearly a gruff man with very calloused hands and the like, he still makes quite an image, especially in such a rough place as Tenton. He seems quite smart. And he'll say, "Yes, come on, through to my office, please."
Is he about Frank's size? Or is he?
He's a dwarf, bro. He's like 2 feet taller than you.
Oh, okay. So he's not short to me then.
No. to you, he's this big burly.
All right, cool.
Then John
he
goes,
leads you through to one of the
"Shall we,
few.
friends?" As he gestures
He
after,
unlocks the
Mr.
door.
Ouijan.
Would you like to put the picture of Mr. Ouijan in the thing? Is it?
It's done.
Is it there?
It's already there. It's already there.
Mr. Ouijan unlocks the door to one of the few wooden buildings in Tenton, which, as you can see on it, it says the ARC office, and leads you through to a small, shabby, literally like it clearly wasn't meant to be an office space. It's something that's been converted into an office space, and now it's got an old pine desk and a shelf that's filled with folders and files that all look out of order, and it doesn't look organized. And he says, "I'm afraid there's not enough seats, but just take a stand." And he goes and sits behind the desk, and he looks at you all very gravely, and he says, "Well, I know you, Mr. Whitestone. For those of you who don't know me, we briefly met yesterday, but my name is Mr. Weegan. I'm the taskmaster here in Tenton, and I'm currently the highest ARC representative that we have, which is no great task for me. What are your names, if I could ask?" And he'll point at Saul.
Yes. He's going to look to Lulu.
This one doesn't talk, Mr. Weegan.
Frank will say, and we'll look up the guys and say, what was his name again?
His name is Saul, guys. Come on. Saul.
Yeah,
Saul
my bad.
Eagers.
My bad. Sorry, man. And he looks over at Saul and just goes, "Sorry, man," and he looks up at him.
He looks down at Frank and just nods with a little smile.
Well, also you're his non-congenital sister, right? So I just felt that would be fitted. That you be the one to introduce him.
And you are? And he looks at Lula.
Well, my good sir, call me Lula. My name's Lula. That's my name. That's my name.
Well met, mate. He says, "Well met, miss." Points at the weird green-haired half-elf, which he gives you a bit of a side eye.
All right. So upon seeing this cue, John steps forward and he pulls down, straightening his overcoat over his chest, and he says, "Well met, sir. My name is John Morello, out of Baygate. I've come here hearing of the troubles within Tenton, and hoping I could lend a hand. As you can tell, my eyes see many things." As he lowers his glasses and smiles, revealing his green eyes.
Mr. Morello. Elvish, is it?
Not really. I took after my mother's name.
And he looks up at Aslan, and it's like craning his neck. And he says, "And who's the big fella?"
Aslan.
Yeah, we happen
Mr. Aslan?
We happen upon this one on the way here. He has a brave heart, and he's a kind, although big, animal people.
It's quite literally a beast. Frank shouts from the other side of the room.
I wouldn't say quite literally.
Is that bad,
Yeah,
Frank?
you know what I mean?
He sort of gives Frank a look, a little smirk. He goes, "Mr. Whitestone, Mr. Aslan, Mr. Morello, Miss Lula, Mr. Egress. I'm going to get to the point. I don't know if you've heard the rumors, or read in the papers, blasted papers, but it's true. The rail has been experiencing enough problems to poach a potato. They've been strange happenings, and I can't quite say everything, but I hope that everything that we do talk about doesn't leave this room, and it's all said in confidentiality." And he looks around at all of you with a very grave look on his face.
We can be discreet, Mr. Weegan. Absolutely.
Confidential what?
It means we do not speak of this conversation to anyone outside this room.
Got it, Chief.
It doesn't leave the room, miss.
Gotcha.
Okay. Well, then I can confirm that it's true. Folks have been going missing. The workers haven't been... they refuse to enter the tunnel anymore. At least not since we discovered the pyramid.
The pyramid?
He sort of looks at you, and he goes, "When we were about 6 months from reaching the tunnel, we sent forward a crew to blast it open. We thought the dynamite would have it done in a couple of months before we even arrived, but we lost the battery, and strange things started happening. People going missing, showing up, going mad. The like. I don't even know if you heard the rumors, but they said that a bunch of workers have left and gone off the rails. Well, it's true, and I'm afraid to say, we discovered a pyramid while blasting through, and since then we sent through an archaeologist to research it. So he's on strike. The sheriff went off with a posse, and he's the only one that come back, short of the tracker. Now the bluecoats have arrived, and the useless pricks can't even go into the tunnel. They're here to try and stop a riot, but their bloody presence is more likely to cause one than it is to fucking stop one. Bastards.
Fucking bluecoats.
Well then, aren't you lucky to have us, hmm?
As you can see, I'm weighed down by a host of problems. Least of which is the fact that when we sent the archaeologist into the cave, he went with a team and a locomotive, and that locomotive is now stuck in the cave beyond the rail. And while contingencies have been made to keep construction moving, we need that train.
I'm sorry, you said there's a locomotive within the tunnel, and is it off the rails? Because you said it's on the rails? Did it get derailed?
I don't know of the details, but I know that they couldn't get it moving again when the team tried to run away.
I see. Well, I imagine Frank here might be well suited to see if he can get it operational. What do you think,
I
Frank?
got the other one running. I can take a crack at it.
All right then.
Mr. Whitestone, we brought you here actually to be a second mechanic, but I fear with Mr. Feckfumble now taking his strike on account of his brother, you may have to step up to the plate and play the role.
So I'm gonna have to do it myself, all alone.
It would seem so. Mr. Feckfumble's still in tune, but
Well, let me try.
I sent the sheriff off to go and find his brother, but he thinks we're not doing enough.
I see. And out of curiosity, Mr. Weegen, are you more concerned about your locomotive, or shall we focus on finding your missing team if we are to venture into the tunnels?
Of the team, we know that one died. 2 have been found again, and really it's only the archaeologist and 1 other that are unaccounted for. It wouldn't be any issue if the archaeologist wasn't a Mr. Feckfumble himself. Dr. Feckfumble, if I'm not mistaken.
Ooh,
One of these
doctor.
university lads. Not a doctor of anything real. Fucking archaeologist.
I see, but a man you still need nonetheless.
His brother's the one I need. Lazy bastard.
Is he the other one that is missing, or is he counted amongst the dead?
He's the one unaccounted for so far.
So there's hope then yet, my friends. He says, looking to the group with a smile. So,
And that's all the righteousness we need. We gotta get in there and get them out.
all right.
Yeah, I don't want to do all the
Listen.
work by myself. But I can do it. Let's go.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't give a shit about the fucking archaeologist. I want my train.
We'll
I'm
keep
sorry,
this in
mister.
mind.
I think
I'm
Saul,
sorry, sir. I don't agree with that at all.
Saul's
You gotta
probably
care
going to
about
turn
your
on his
people.
heel and walk out the door at that point.
What would he say?
I think Saul leaves.
Okay.
I think he's going to wait outside.
All right.
Look here, mister. With all the respect I could muster from within myself, you gotta care for anybody that goes missing. It doesn't matter who it is. It's your responsibility to care for them. Now, you may not care, but I care.
Lula,
We're gonna get them back for you.
I don't mean to be rude, miss. If you are to return the archaeologist, all of the reward for this isn't company money. This is coming from my personal paycheck. The archaeologist is not something I'll pay for, but perhaps if you speak to his brother, you're likely to get a second reward, if that's what you're interested in. But for me, the man has been a hindrance to my job every step of the way.
Stand that, sir. Reward is not my main idea. It's just helping people out. That's all that matters. Pa did it to me, but I gotta do it to everyone else.
That's
I was about to say,
very-
roll a deception check.
That's very honorable and respectable of you, Lula. Morella says, giving her a pat on the back.
And can Frank do it? Like, I want to see if Frank realizes or not know whether she's lying or not she's lying, because he'd be suspicious of that comment. He does not trust anybody.
She's not lying.
trying to-
I think. I mean, you can do an insight check. Go ahead, roll for it. But
I want to, yes.
Then John would also say to Lula, the world needs... It might be
Scream
okay.
says it's live.
Alright, never mind then.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Alright, cool. So,
I think you'll find Saul has finished rolling like a cigarette and is lighting it.
mhm.
He glances over at you.
Yeah, so as he goes to light it, John like peeks out the door and he gestures him over and he's like, come on, the gentleman, he just needs some confirmation over here, friend.
Okay. He's gonna poke his head in the door and look at our Jordan employer.
Yeah, and then basically he's gonna like open up the door further and like gesture him inside and be like,
All right.
please, if you don't mind.
He'll step inside awkwardly.
John closes the door, and he looks to the gathered, and he just says, "Well, as Mr. Weegan was saying, he just before he agrees to hire or lay this responsibility upon us, shall I say, he needs our word that nothing that was shared within here today, this morning at this meeting, is to be disclosed with others not present."
Saul just stares at John.
And are we all in agreement then?
Uncomfortable amount of time.
Frank will just like give him a
as you're
little
doing
nod
this,
and be like,
Mr. Weegan.
oh.
As you're doing this, Mr. Weegan is on his desk and he's ruffling through like a bunch of papers, and he finally finds one and sets it down, pulls out a quill and ink, sets it down as well, and then slides it over the table in front of you as you guys are having this conversation.
Saul's just gonna, not breaking eye contact with John, he's gonna reach over and just kind of put like an X where his name would be as his signature, and then walks right back out.
Okay. Well then, I suppose that settles that. So John is also gonna take the pen or the quill and sign his name as well upon the contract.
Who do you hand the
Lula
quill
is
to?
going to.
He'd give
Lula's
it to...
going to sign.
No, go ahead. He'd give it to Lula.
Sorry. Lula's going to sign with an X and also with a name and all capitalized. Not really that neat, but hey, it's good enough.
Who do you hand the quill to?
All right. I hand it over to. I'll hand it over to Frank.
Frank would see the quill and be like, no, I'm all right. And then he'll pull out his own little contraption that seems to work the same as a quill, but then he doesn't have to dip it in any ink or anything. It just works by its own. It's like kind of like a pen, but not from that era.
Mm-hmm.
That he's definitely tinkered it together himself. And he signs just FW. And then puts it back right.
Reaching up onto the desk like.
Yeah, John would
And
raise
then,
his brows and see the trinket, and he'd be like, "Ooh, fancy."
It's a lot more reliable than a quill.
Now, Aslan, you take this feather here, okay, and then we're gonna dip it into the ink for you. All right, here we go. That should be good. Now take this, put it in your hand, and don't break it, okay? Be gentle. And then he goes to like hand it over to him.
Okay. Aslan will take the quill, and then he'll look left, and then right, and then he'll write an X on top of the X.
Top of the other X. Nice.
Yeah, well, that's good enough, right? It's not his fault he can't read or write.
Mr. Weegan takes the papers back, and he looks over at Frank and he goes, "Mr. Whitestone, not exactly the contract we plan to be signing with you, but welcome aboard." And he rolls it up. "You'll find the handcar is just down the rails. I'll get one of the men to take you to it. Is there anything else you'd be requiring?"
If we could get our hands on some rations, whiskey included, I'm sure that would be helpful for our journey. Perhaps some blankets for the nighttime. It does get cold out there.
Blankets. Okay, and he like scribbles a little note down, and then you hear him shout, and he shouts for like a minute, and he's shouting, "Kryn! Kryn! Kryn, you wee bastard, where you at? Kryn! Come here!" And a goblin. The city folk, you guys have probably seen goblins before. Aslan, I think this is probably the first time you would have ever seen a goblin in your life. Lula and Saul, you like maybe would have encountered one or two, traveling along, stopping by the ranch or whatever. They're not uncommon to see, but even for the goblins that you guys have seen, this is a small, hunched over old goblin. If you thought that Mr. Weegan looked old, Kryn the goblin is like a shriveled little guy, and he goes, "Yes, what can I help you with, boss?" And so Mr. Weegan scribbles down this note and sort of hands it to him, and he goes, "Give it to the lads. They need supplies." He goes, "Yes, boss. Good morning." And then he gets out of the room.
Cute little thing, ain't it? Living for so long.
Been with me for years. Been waiting for the fucker to die.
I don't know. He seemed reliable to me, Mr. Weegan. But perhaps his hearing isn't as it used to be.
He looks at you and he goes, "It's the most reliable bastard you ever met. It's terrible."
I see. Well then, meet you by the rails, shall we?
Aye, the lads will take you there. You might see Kryn.
Very
Good
well,
luck
then.
to you.
And thanks for this opportunity, sir. We'll be sure not to disappoint you.
Does everyone?
Any of you look closely at the piece of paper? Did any of you actually read the contract that you just signed?
Frank
Yes,
definitely
Aslan
would
did.
have, yeah. Frank
John,
definitely would have.
Aslan did not.
John scanned it.
I don't think that Saul really paid much attention to it.
Lola definitely did not.
Frank and John would have seen that it's 500 gold for unsolicited services. For unstated services. Yeah, unnamed services. Unsolicited. It was soliciting unnamed services. And with like a big clause in the bottom, and like the bottom text is always like tiny writing. The bottom text was like big bold writing, and it was an NDA basically. Like, this does not leave the room. You don't talk about what you did. There's no sharing details. Don't talk with the press. It seems to be in the sort of corporate legalese that neither of you really recognize, but Frank knows about in like from working with the Gun Guild and whatever,
Yeah. So as everyone leaves, Frank would like to not leave the room and talk to Mr. Weegan a little more, and ask him basically ask him about if he could do still do that mechanical work in his off time, and if he's not after this is all done.
Mr. Whitestone, your skills have proven to be quite good. I'm sure we'll find a place for you. Don't worry.
All right. And then he'll walk off.
As you walk out, he goes, Mr. Whitestone, good morning. Send the family my regards. And he tips his little postboy hat to you.
Frank will tip his hat back and then leave.
Once everyone's out, Saul's gonna kind of kick off the building. He had one foot up on the building, kind of kicks off, and then just kind of heads for the tracks. He's on the job and he's moving.
All right. So John's gonna also head towards the tracks, but he's gonna deviate from like following Saul just because he needs to swing by the pit real quick for just one last shot of whiskey for good luck.
Okay.
It was it was 5 silver, right?
5 silver. You get to the bottom of the
Such
pit,
a ripoff.
and the female half elf is there, and she says, ha, Mr. Morello, nice to see you again. You're out in the boot, hey?
Just so. We do have some business to see. C2 down the rails, you know, trouble and the likes. More.
She takes your silver. Sorry.
You know, more folks in trouble.
She takes your silver, pulls you your shot, and says, good morning to you then.
And good morning to you, my lady. He says with a smile before he downs it and just slaps the shot glass back down on the table, and he says, my thanks. You have a lovely day, darling.
And you too.
And then he saunters off and heads for the tracks.
All right. As you guys are all coalescing at the tracks, does anybody else want to deviate and do anything else?
Yeah, I do. Who's
Go
gonna
ahead.
go first? You or me?
No, go ahead, bro. You got it.
Lula just wants to quickly get a few health potions, not for herself, but for potentially any survivors that could need it. How much are health potions, by the way?
Health potions, if I'm not mistaken, are like 50 gold. I don't know if
Yeah.
you can afford any health potions.
Yeah, I think the cheapest ones
Yeah.
are 50.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, in Tenton, if you found health potions, which I don't think you would even find them in the town at the moment, they would be more than 50 gold. Supply and demand. And at the moment, there is no supply.
Lila maybe just grabs a few extra rations and then meets up at the tracks with everyone else. How much are the rations?
Ration 5 silver per day.
Okay. Lula will grab 5.
Okay. 2.5
Frank-
gold.
Frank would just he would go straight to the tracks, but he because he has small little legs, so he's doing like a little bit of a fast-paced walk, just straight, just to try and be there on time.
Power
Yeah.
walking. You know what I'm picturing? Have you guys seen Surf's Up?
Yep.
Is that the one
You
with
know
the
Surf's
penguins?
Up?
No
The one
idea.
with the penguins? So you know like the guy's assistant is that little bird and he just goes like look at his little legs. So you guys arrive to the rails. You see a hand car there. Do you guys all know what a hand car is? I don't need to describe it to anyone.
It's the one that you gotta go like this.
It's exactly. It's flat and it's got like sort of a box in the middle, a gearbox, and on the gearbox 2 people can push, or 1 person can push, but ideally 2 people push, and it drives the car along.
Yeah.
As you guys are arriving, you notice Kryn the Goblin with a beast folk, a minotaur man carrying a couple of large boxes. He's got like a couple of blankets over his shoulder. And he's got like a box underneath his arms, and this huge minotaur beast man sort of chucks the blankets down, puts the boxes on the cart, and Kryn says, "Go now." And he says to you guys, "Is there anything else you could need for your journey?"
Yes. We supposed to go this way down the tracks or this way? Which one was it again?
Not back to the city, city boy. You follow the rail.
Okay.
And he points south.
And Baygate is north of here, right? Okay, south. Yes. Okay. No, I got it. Never mind.
He looks at the cowboy, like he looks at Saul, who looks the most cowboy, and he goes, "Yes, city folk."
Oh no,
We lost Yesu.
too bad. Yeah, Saul's just gonna eye the goblin and finish smoking his cigarette and just kind of flick it to the side and then get back up onto the minecart.
Okay.
There he
Who's
is.
pushing? We need to reorganize the tokens again. So I know John isn't pushing. Lula's gonna push.
Yeah, of course.
Frank is definitely not pushing with his small ass.
Yeah, I don't think Saul can push.
Yeah.
Sorry,
John would
guy.
hop
Help me
onto
out.
the handcart, and he would say, good thing we have just the right people for this job, huh?" And then he pats both Lula and Aslan on the back. You see, friends, he says, looking over to John and Frank, and he says, "This is why the world needs strong people."
Interesting.
Hey, no,
Interesting.
no, you shouldn't.
Interesting.
We don't need to switch it. It's just.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's all sorted now.
Yeah,
So
it's
can I have
because-
you?
It's because
If
I left
Aslan
overeating.
agrees to push, can I have you two, give me a strength check, please? If Aslan agrees to push.
Okay.
Do you agree, big guy?
Sure.
Let's go.
What do I do?
So you just stand here, and you put your hands on this metal bar, and I'm pretty sure you just push up on it.
Okay.
It's up and down, but I'm just picturing John standing behind 7-foot Aslan, arms wrapped around him, showing him how to hold on.
Yeah. No, when John says like pushing up, he's clearly not like 100% familiar with it, but
Mm-hmm.
that was deliberate. But so yeah. So go on, give it a try.
Aslan will stand on the handcart and he'll go as hard as he can, up and then down. And he rolls a 16.
16, Lula.
Yeah.
Who's gonna go flying?
14.
Sorry,
14. 1-4.
14. Well, that makes averaging it out very easy. It's 15. You guys, as you get this thing cranking along, it slowly picks up a bit of pace, and you guys manage to move down the rail. After several hours of doing this, you definitely get tired and whatever, but you're both big, strong people, and you're able to push it clear until like about midday, at which point it starts to be rough. Hey, it hurts. Like your muscles are straining.
Saul will see that Lula's tiring and he'll try to step in to help, probably to catastrophic results. But give it a try.
Strength check, please.
All right.
Can
Anybody
can
gonna
Frank,
help Aslan?
Can Frank take a look at the mechanism and see if it's like rusty or anything, or like a little bit broken or something that that he would be able to improve upon to make it easier?
That's a 2.
As you do this, Aslan's on the other side pumping, and it gets significantly harder to pump, Aslan.
How tired is Aslan?
He just got like noodle arms latched onto it that you're just flopping around.
It's just like Aslan is definitely straining, hey?
So John would step up and put a hand on Aslan's back, and he would say, "Maybe we should take a 5-minute break, huh?"
Okay.
Frank, give me a Tinker's Tool check. So that's with your Tinker's Tool roll, proficiency and all that.
So it's just a custom D20 plus my proficiency bonus, right?
What are you gonna say, Kaio?
Speaking of like him and his tinkering, what infusions did you use on this last long rest, Frank?
Shield and gun. He's
The
Okay.
shield and gun, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's just the custom D20 plus my proficiency bonus, right, Nick?
That's one.
That would be a 9. Plus 1, or because that would be 10.
Plus 1 for what?
I don't know. I thought you said plus 1, or you said that's the one, or you said plus 1. I didn't
No,
understand it. But
it's just your
I said that's the
intelligence
one.
modifier plus your proficiency plus your roll.
Oh yeah. Your intelligence
Oh,
modifier
oh.
as well, so you get to add +3 to that.
Right.
Right? So it's a 12 total.
Okay, so it's a 12. Yeah.
Yeah. Remember,
that's
your
what I
Tinker's
thought, yeah.
tools is your intelligence and your proficiency.
Yeah. Will do.
Okay, so it takes you a second, but you recognize the basic gears in the mechanism, and it could definitely use some lubrication, for sure. Some grease or something would do great for it. But on top of that, it seems to just be old and worn. You know, it's traveled through a sandy desert. You can see there's corrosion. You can see it's just sort of broken
Okay.
down.
So I will cast mending on it then.
Okay,
And
you're gonna have to mending a couple times to get the whole area, but you can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And Frank would definitely have like a little bit of lubricant to make it all a little bit nicer and squeaky.
What does
He
the
would just have that in his tool belt.
What does the mending look like?
So you can just kind of see him like take a look inside and just look around, and then you could just see his arm just going in and then just touching. What?
Nothing.
Nothing, man.
So as your arm goes in and touches it, the arcane power leaks from your fingers, and where the corrosion and like the sand had chipped away at the metal and the rust had eaten away at it, it slowly starts to come back to its original form. And when you do this enough times, eventually the mending cantrip goes off, and it starts to almost be a little bit more shiny, and the squeak goes away a little bit. It could still use some lubrication, but it's definitely in much better state than when you found it.
So sounds a little squeaky, eh? Think it needs something more, even beyond what you've just done, Mr. Frank Whitestone.
This will do. And then he just goes and sits back down and lets you guys do the work.
You saying we could have done this from the start? Huh?
Well, we figured our employer, or at least that goblin, had seen to it. It seems they gave us the sparest of spares, my friends. But this is what makes a true man, or a woman even, he says, looking to Lula. You overcome the obstacles that come upon you. Work together to find solutions.
Are we still moving?
Off a cliff.
No, we're on our break, right? We're on the 5-minute break or whatever.
I was just picturing while
we're
he's
still
doing
live.
all this that Saul's still like wigging out on the thing in the background. That'd be hysterical.
So he says, so no one between us has any type of some grease amongst us for this squeaky hinge.
My sweat could count.
I fear that might rust it even further.
Frank would have definitely would have had some stuff in his tool belt to.
I think that'd be part of Tinker's tools, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I would reckon.
Yeah, he definitely, because he works with like all kinds of stuff. He definitely would have something for that.
Yeah, I would say it wouldn't be
so
super unreasonable, so you could also grease it up.
Some
Yeah, that's what I
WD-40.
was planning on saying.
Yeah,
but,
literally a little bit of like
funny happened. Yeah.
So
Okay,
where are we?
so you guys are able to grease it up. Are you still taking the 5-minute break? That's what I want to know.
So John will look to the rest and be like, so how you feeling? Think you're ready to get back up? Get back up on that horse? He says, grinning to Lula and Aslan.
Just give me a while. Yeah.
You need some time more then. John looks around to see like where they are. Are they just in the middle of nowhere? No landmarks around them.
Effective. So as you guys have traveled, you sort of left the plane that Tenton is on, which you guys who travel on the train, and also to be fair, Saul and Lula would recognize from the fact that the ranch is sort of a similar vibe, where it's this it's dry and it's a harsh environment, but it's a plain still. There's grass and there's thorn trees and there's thickets and stuff like that. You've left these thickets for an environment that has become way more sandy. And Frank, maybe Saul and Lula, you guys would know that this is the rain shadow from the Wave Mountains, and it creates a desert basically from the coastline a couple hundred miles inland, where there's very, very little rain, and where it turns from this shrubby grassland to a legitimate sandy, duney desert, with occasional patches of dirt and whatever, but it goes from shrubs to thorn thickets and sand.
Okay. So he looks around and he says, I don't really see much shelter around here unless we set up camp. How much longer do you think you might need, my good friend Lula?
Good to go now. The sooner we get past this horrible patch, the better. Bad memories here.
Aslan will ask, maybe you can try, John?
He says, I'm so sorry, but the palms of my hands, they have very thin skin. I went to a doctor once to see about it, and he told me that I cannot do extraneous activity.
Insight check that shit.
I was just about to say that. Frank would have definitely wanted to insight check that.
All right.
Put up right now.
You got a 10.
Well, where's my insight? Natural 20, motherfucker.
I got a 23. Saul looks very skeptical.
Yeah, this is clearly made up.
Saul cocks an eyebrow quizzically, clearly not buying this story.
Frank will look at this conversation and realize that he's completely lying, and just giggle to himself, and he doesn't say anything or do anything about it.
Okay.
But then he says, but beyond that, even if I were to take hold of this, I don't think I would get us too far. I was hoping, you might still have the strength within you to at least get us to the point at which we need to get off.
Saul's gonna grab one end of the other end of the machine with his little like old man noodle arms, and he's going to glare at John Morello and gesture to the other side.
Frank will also note that it should be easier now. I've made it a little better, so should take a little less strength even for a man like you, John.
Fine, I suppose we all need to make sacrifices, he says. Then he puts his hands on the bars and he's like, ow! Oh, it hurts. Ugh. Ugh. Then he starts putting his arms on it and he's like, ugh. He's using his body weight to do it. Ugh. To try and pump the hand card.
Welcome to the Quest and Quill ASMR challenge.
I don't think you're doing it right, John.
Okay.
And then he
so
rolls
you two are taking over from Lula.
A straight strength roll, and he gets a 4, so he pushes the cart about like 3 feet forward.
I got a 9.
Yeah.
And then he's like,
So you guys are taking over from Lula.
How do you do this?
Aslan, are you gonna keep pumping?
Yes.
And the fact that that Frank fixed the thing, can that give him advantage?
I will say it will give Aslan advantage on his next roll. Because Aslan keeps pumping away with his tired muscles. And I'm going to need a constitution saving throw, but because Frank fixed the thing, you can have it with advantage.
Hell
11.
With advantage.
11, that's with advantage.
Yeah.
You needed
Jesus.
a 12.
So I'm gonna say like John only helps pump downwards. He's like on Aslan's side, and then Aslan is basically like, or I guess the other side is like pushing it up. But every time to go, when he goes to pump down, instead of pumping, John he just like interlocks his fingers on the bar, and then he just like hangs and uses his body weight to like bring it down. He's trying to make it as easy as possible for himself. It's not very effective.
I'm going to say it was very close, but the other two are also very useless. You don't suffer a point of exhaustion, but you are on the edge of exhaustion by the time the cart starts to, and you notice that it feels more and more difficult to push. And if any of you look down towards the rails, you'll notice that at this point the rails have started to diverge, and instead of going at their normal perfectly straight angle, they start to twist a little bit. And as they're twisting, they go off in sort of two separate angles. You can see that this is obviously the point that he spoke about, where the rails have twisted because of the warping. And it makes the cart more and more difficult to push until it's inevitably impossible, or until you stop.
Oh, thank the gods we're here. Oh, man, that was very hard.
Frank will have sat during this entire process while he's just sat, kind of just occasionally sipping from his flask.
So
I think Saul finally stops, and I imagine Saul's hands don't look too good because he did not handle that very well. I think he's like wrapping his hands or something like that.
So you like work on the farm. You're used to having calloused hands or whatever, but your scrawny little muscles, like you've actually been trying because you're genuine about it. You are sore and you're tired, and I'm not going to make you roll for exhaustion, but like you're also on the border of exhaustion.
That's fine. And he's sweating. He looks terrible.
You alright there, Saul?
It's approaching late afternoon, and the blue sky has now
taking off his
shifted to
overcoat,
pink, and
I
the blue sky is now shifted to orange and pinks as it starts to descend into evening. You guys have a little bit of time to decide what you're doing for camp.
Yeah. So John hops off the hand car and he says, "Fuck this thing," and then he kicks it and he's like, "Oh, fuck my foot." Ah. He hops on one foot, like reaching for his boot, and then he limps over to the others and he's like, "I guess here is as good as any for us to set up a camp."
Around you, same thing. Sandy, there's thorn bushes, there's maybe a couple of fallen trees, but it's not a pleasant environment. And despite the fact now, after the daylight heat has left you and the glaring sun has stopped and the evening starts to descend, it quickly goes from boiling hot to cold.
Oh fuck! Who brought the tent?
Okay, Lula would. Well, I think Lula would like to collect as much firewood as she can and try get a fire going.
Lula's starting a fire. Got it.
Yeah.
So
There's
Frank
blankets
will
as well
notice.
and rations that they brought.
So Frank will notice Lula trying to start a fire, and he will just firebolt it for her.
Thanks.
He
What
basically
next time, though?
basically just shoot into the fire, right? Because you pull with your firebolt, you have like a gun, right?
Yeah, and so you could just see, he just approaches the wood, and you can see like Lula kind of starting a fire, and he'll gesture to Lula to just kind of like move out of the way, and then he'll just slide, grab his gun, shoot it, and twist it around, put it back into his holster, and as you can see, as he shoots the gun just shoots what seems to be a flare of fire, and it just hits the wood, and now it's a flame.
That's a neat trick you got there.
He just tips his hat, and then goes over towards the tents to see if there's one his size that's not massive.
All right. guess since it's cold out, is the handcar? Oh, there's no like pit in it, right? There's no like.
No,
It's not like a
it's
basin. It's just
literally
a
a flat
All
platform.
right.
I think Saul
Okay,
is going to immediately pass out as soon as the fire is on, and then he's going to make sure he wakes up so he can take second watch.
Okay. Anybody gonna do anything else? Who's taking first watch?
John will take first watch. He doesn't feel like sleeping early.
Okay.
He would say,
Okay.
"Don't worry, guys. I got Axe out for us." He says as he lowers his shades, and you see the glow of green in the dark of the night.
So everybody makes their way to bed. John, laying awake, looks up into the night sky and feels a familiar presence.
He looks up to the sky and he says to himself, "Are you looking at me? I wonder if I'm doing the right thing or not, or if this is really, what you need me to accomplish. Am I on the right path? If you could give me a sign, I would appreciate it. It'd give me reassurances."
There's a feeling of warmth, positivity, some serotonin firing off in your brain.
So he smiles to himself, and then he bobs his head, and he closes his eyes, and he says, "Thank you." And then he goes back to looking around, and every now and then he spares a glance to the stars, but he tries not to get too distracted by the awe of it all.
On the second watch, can I please have a perception roll from Saul, please?
Perception roll.
Yeah.
1 second.
Luna seems to be very comfortable.
That is an 18.
Ooh, nice.
In the darkness around you, as dawn approaches, there's the sound of shifting sands and shapes clearly moving in the darkness. But you're a human, so you don't have dark vision, so you can't see what the fuck's going on. But even so, something moves. I want everybody to roll initiative now, and then we're gonna go to break.
Yo, what's up, guys? We're back.
Hi. I think we officially have 7 of you out there. So to all 7 of you, I love you all. Hey, thanks, Grandma.
Kisses.
We had
Thanks for
we had
watching.
8 at some point.
Time
for our
as
sponsor.
we
No.
open again. Yeah, right. As we open again, Saul has just noticed the shifting in the darkness, the sound of sand moving and dunes. What are you doing, Saul?
I think he knows for sure there's something out there, right? Like
You
that-
know for sure there is something out there.
I think he's going to. I think he's going to shout. I think he's just going to try to wake everyone up. Quick draw his gun, take cover.
What
is he
does
gonna
he shout?
I think it's going to be like the shout of the mute. You know what I mean? Like, it's just going to be like a regular old shout. I don't want to break my microphone or anyone's eardrums, but I think it's like just like kind of your standard war cry.
Like, ah!
Exactly, like that.
Give us an
Yeah.
example.
Are you going to make me do that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, literally, I am.
I want to hear what Frank hears.
He's gonna. I'm just gonna do the
Don't
Mulder
break the
scream.
immersion, bro.
He's gonna go, "Ah!" And then you guys are gonna wake up. Yeah,
So you guys wake up hearing the call of the mute.
the Mulder scream.
What the fuck?
Frank will wake up confused as fuck because he doesn't recognize this voice.
What's with the noise? I literally just fell asleep.
Lula's gonna wake up in a panic. She knows something's up.
And I've taken cover behind. Is there anything there that could give me half cover, like falling over a tree or anything like that, or?
You could probably like crouch down behind the handcar.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Would you like to bring in the Albay rodeo and we can show where everyone is?
Yes. Oh, it's not on that same link from before?
It should be on the same link. I have 2 people in. One of them's Yasa. So it should be on the same link.
I am? I don't even have it open right now.
It says the Dungeon Master, which is you since last time.
That would be me, yeah. No, that's not me. I'm Frank.
Oh no, the Dungeon Master is
it's
Kaio.
It's me, yeah.
So wait, you started using Albay Rodeo?
Oh yeah.
It's the best, right? Shout out to Albay Rodeo. They're not a sponsor or anything, but they're grand.
Mm-hmm.
Albay Rodeo sponsor us.
Yeah, Albay Rodeo, low key, high key.
Pretty pleased with the cherry on top.
I think we lost the soul.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we lost him all right. The scream made him cease with existence.
Where did you guys link the Albert Rodeo?
It's in
the Discord as it usually
D&D.
is.
In the Discord under
It
D&D.
has it's yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Finally, I'm in. Jeez.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, that took me ages to load that shit.
Excuse us, guys. The cameras will correct themselves once a Saul rejoins.
Alrighty.
Yeah. Does anyone know where he went?
Nope.
Did he send a message or anything? Diego, so you guys know how to use Albay Rodeo a little bit. Could one of you two put the initiative order in?
Okay.
Sorry about that, guys. Sorry.
Sure.
I'll cheat.
No worries, man. It's not like you're ruining everything for everyone forever.
That's what I did. I'm sorry.
No, I'm joking, man.
Oh man.
Okay. I think with that,
Yeah, there you go.
Soul will be up first. So I'm gonna put you down. Tell me where you want to place yourself. The gray square is the
mine cart. Yeah.
The mine
Cart.
the hand cart.
Gotcha.
The hand car.
Gotcha.
The rest of you, I'm gonna put around the stump, which we can assume is where Lula started the fire.
Okay. And where did I hear that noise from?
I'm not gonna lie. You heard the noise from around.
From around. Okay.
You have an 18 in your
Perception.
your perception check, so you're gonna notice that you heard it to the north, and to the east, and to the south, and maybe even to the west.
Okay. Cool. I am going to press myself up against this hand car.
Actually, that's a lie. The west is probably the only direction. You have an 18. 18 is really high. Northeast, south.
Northeast,
so it's
south.
On the right hand side of where you guys are at.
All right. So I'm going to scramble over it and take cover on this side so that I can have some cover.
Okay.
That's all I'm doing.
Okay. Good to know. The rest of you have heard the sound. What are you all doing?
Aslan wakes up and he jumps to his feet and he draws his weapons. Both of them.
You don't have to necessarily go in initiative order, guys. We're not in initiative yet.
Okay, alright.
Paul has given you a warning that something is up.
John would look around alarmed, and then he wouldn't see Saul. I guess he saw him like run over to there, and then I assume he would. John would assume that that's where the danger is. So I suppose he would go ahead and run over to where Saul is, and say, "What is it? What did you see?" Asking. He asks the mute.
He's going to point in the direction where he thinks he may have heard the noise, which is to the southeast.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got his gun out and has it leveled that way.
Okay. And then John would say, he thinks it's coming from down the tracks where we were headed. Best take positions, fellas.
Frank would
He would get on the
create
north
his
side of the cart and
his
stay
cannon.
low. Pardon me.
Frank would create his.
What does
his-
Frank
his,
do? Sorry.
Frank will create his cannon. We'll pull out one of his cannons. The Force Ballista this time.
Do you have a token for it? Have you uploaded your token to D&D Beyond to Albe Radio? Can you drop it in the game right now? If not, should I put one in for you? And which one are you summoning? Since we're there.
I'm summoning the Force Ballista, and no, I don't have one right now. I couldn't find it. I will make one.
Force Ballista?
Yeah, Force Ballista.
Force Ballista. I'm just going to put a big fist. How does that sound?
Absolutely fine with me.
Where do you want it?
So it will be like right next to me. And Frank would try and make his way towards the cart, basically, to about here, I believe. Or here, and create it for this way. And so he would just like underneath his robe, he'd pull something out and make tinker with it with his little hammer, and then you guys should just see this small little cannon that has a noticeably smaller barrel this time, but a little longer. So instead of a big short one, he's now a small long one, and it has some legs, stubby little legs.
Nice.
Okay,
So
so
a
the only
thinner,
person I
longer
haven't
barrel.
heard from
Got
is
it.
Lula.
I couldn't hear you guys both.
So the only person we haven't heard from is Lula then.
Yeah, all right. Luna's going to go over here, and she's gonna shout out, Saul, John, Frank, light them up and get ready. As she equips her shield and her astral iron duster. Yeah.
John would say, "Will do as soon as I see him. Maybe you should stay there in the light. Draw them out."
That's the plan.
Okay.
I think.
I take the
Because
hide action.
Aslan is up first. You take the hide action? Okay. Because Aslan is up first, you can roll your stealth. Because Aslan is up first, I'm going to let you have a free perception roll to see what you see scanning into the darkness. And you have dark vision, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Right.
Okay. You don't have disadvantage on the roll then.
It's
Still
10.
rolled a 10.
Still rolled a 10. So 10 was like the first level. In the sand, to the east of you, somewhere in this direction over here. I don't know if you guys can see my little thing. I'm gonna make it purple because that's gonna be my color.
saw
Actually,
it.
wait, purple is Lula's color. I guess I'm gonna have to be sky blue. In this direction, you see what looks like 2 spikes poking out of the sand, and then a little bit further behind it, another thorn poking out of the sand. But that's about it.
What color are the spikes?
Noticeably darker brown than the sand.
Aslan will take a step to the right, and he's gonna throw a javelin at it.
Okay. And that's all you're going to do? It's your turn now.
16.
16 for what, sorry?
He threw a javelin towards the thorns coming out of the sand.
Is that with
And he rolls.
disadvantage because you can't see it?
Oh, okay. And it's a 10.
That's not a hit, I'm afraid.
So nothing happens, it just goes
Throw
into the
this
sand.
javelin into the sand, and it sinks into the sand.
Okay. Aslan will take a few steps towards the rest of the party. So like
There is
right about here.
stillness for a second after this javelin is thrown. And then, while the second stretches out, you guys hear the shifting of sand as from the sand, 3 strange figures appear in this early dusk dawn light, flat to the sand and seeming to have pointy spikes coming out of them from every direction. The first one charges at Lula.
Crap.
That's 15 total.
I got 15. That's my armor.
Is that with your shield?
Yes.
Okay, so meets it, beats it. It takes... I rolled a 1, so 3 bludgeoning damage on you, and you are now grappled.
Okay, let me change my condition.
It's got Lula.
All right. Something's got
A second one shifts from this patch of sand, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just is able to get up to Frank, but instead of charging for him, reaches out one of these big claws to grasp at his cannon. That's 7 total. I'm sure that misses your cannon.
Yep.
Yeah. And then with its other claw, reaches out for you, but clearly aimed like a little bit above your head, because that's the 6 total, and it's above your head. A third one then shifts from the sand pile to the north and charges towards John. It takes a snip at you for a 16 total.
It hits. But I got
That's
a
a
10
hit.
on my stealth, though. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
no. It has blind sight 60 feet, bro. You're not in luck. For 5 damage total, and you are now grappled.
Ah!
Oh, crap.
That's the DM's turn.
So it's piercing damage? Is that what we're being attacked by?
Bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
You're being squished.
Gotcha.
Actually, sorry, I'm wrong. With John and Lula now grasped within their claws, both of the creatures raise what looks like a wicked thorny tail, and with one big strike, this scorpion stinger goes towards each of them. Lula, that's 18 total. That's a hit.
Ow.
And it does 8 poison damage.
Oh boy.
And I need a Constitution saving throw from you. For John, that's 19 total. That hits.
Yeah.
And it does 4 poison piercing damage.
Okay.
And I need a
7 on my
Constitution
con
saving
save.
throw. That's a fail. So you take an additional 10 points of poison damage, and you are now poisoned.
Nice.
Lula, what was your con
I got
save?
a 9. I got a 9. Does that help?
That's a fail. So you take 10 plus... No, just 10. 10 poison damage, and you are now poisoned.
Holy, grappled and poison? What next?
God. Sean can be heard shouting behind the cart.
So with me finished, that would be Frank up next, and then Saul after him.
All right, Frank will use his bonus action first to use his cannon to try and hit the scorpion.
Roll your hit. Roll your attack, sorry.
13.
That's a miss. I'm assuming you're aiming for the one right in front of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then Frank will disengage and
Okay.
and get his ass over there. And that's the end of Frank's turn.
All right. For Saul's turn, once you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. He is going to look between John and Lula. He's going to see that both are in trouble. He's going to... I think I can make a clear shot from here. It's up to you whether anyone would have cover or not.
Which one are you aiming at? Top,
I would
middle,
be-
bottom?
I would be aiming at the bottom one near Lula.
The problem is Aslan, hey? Between Aslan and Lula, you have quite a tight shot in the middle there.
Okay. I think he's going to make the hard decision, and he's going to go...
You can still move.
Oh, I know, but I think he knows he's going to have to pick one or the other. And I think what he's going to do is he's going to go help John. He's going to carefully circle around and use all of his movement so that he can be flanking the that scorpion there. And I'm going to lash out at it with my Bowie knife from behind.
Oh, yeah.
Now, is this... With flanking rules, that's advantage, right?
Yeah, you're off flanking indeed.
Okay, that is a 21 to hit, which I assume hits.
Yeah, no, that hits.
Wow.
Okay. And that is 8 points of piercing damage.
Good hit.
And then I'm going to use an unarmed strike. Which is a 23.
Yeah, no, you whack the bug.
Okay. And that does 5 points of bludgeoning damage.
Good.
Which
Good turn, good
concludes
turn.
my turn.
Lula, you're up next. John, after that.
All right. Well, since I see that
You are still grappled and you're poisoned.
yeah, that's the annoying thing. Crap. I can still attack the scorpion, right?
All your attacks have
You have
disadvantage,
disadvantage
since you're
on-
poisons. And your ability checks
Yeah.
too, right? I think.
Yeah. So, oh, I'm going down. I don't care. Well, since I see this is I'm assuming it's a it's a non-special monster. I'm going to remove my iron duster and have both my fists out in the ready and just pummel on this thing with my bare fists.
Okay.
I have to roll a d8.
What do you have to roll D8? Roll your attack first. With
Alright.
disadvantage, I might add.
Yeah, with disadvantage. Okay, that's
He missed.
yeah. Okay, that's the first roll.
Yeah, but it
I
takes
got
the
12.
lowest one. It doesn't matter. No, you have disadvantage.
I forgot. Okay, I missed horribly.
So Lula, just swaying with this nausea, just and whiffs the air. Frank, what are you doing? John, what are you doing?
So,
Wait,
Oh wait, unless you want to
bonus
move,
action?
or your bonus action. Bonus action?
Bonus action. Yes, please. I'd like to
I was
use
about to say
second
you
wind
can't move.
because I need it. Okay.
Second wind? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So
Yeah, you can't move, you're
1d10. Oh, come on, game. I regained 5 HP.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
All right, I have ended my turn.
Okay, so I'm gonna say that the scorpion, when it came upon John, that it grabbed him by like both his arms and it's like holding him up, and it just stabbed him in his like upper shoulder, and he's just like screaming out in excruciating pain, and he tries to struggle with it for a second, but he realized that he's now too weak with the venom in his body to break free. So he closes his eyes and he's like, and then his eyes open up and they begin to glow with eldritch energy. And he says, Matuetekana! And then the creature needs to give me a wisdom save as he casts Dissonant Whispers on it, DC 13.
That's a fail. Wisdom -1.
Sweet. And it takes 14 psychic damage, and it's forced to move as far as away from me as possible with its reaction right now.
Okay, it takes it on your turn, right? So,
Yeah.
this creature hit with this wave of eldritch psychic energy, and like waves and sort of shakes you out of its claw. You're no longer grappled, and then, seeing where Saul is, tries to retreat as far back as it can. It gets to about here, just onto the edge of the sand, and you see it starting to try and dig its claws into the sand again. And make it.
Can I take my attack of opportunity on it?
You can. And also, John, do you get an attack of opportunity?
No, because I just
Even
used
though-
my action to... Oh, wait.
But it's
No,
also
you
forced
get your
movement.
reaction.
Saul,
You can
I don't know if
look at
I don't know if Saul gets an attack of opportunity because it's a forced movement.
No, that's absolutely true for forced movements.
Yeah, so neither of us do then.
Wait, what?
Okay, yeah. So
If it's forced movement, you can't get attack of opportunities, right? Or is there some other caveat?
No, I thought my understanding was that you absolutely can, but I could be wrong about that.
Well, what you gonna roll right now, Nick?
I'm gonna say that it has this thing is being dissonant whispered. You can definitely get a chance to take a swing at it as this creature writhes in psychic pain and charges back.
Hell yeah.
Really. Okay, then that is what I will attempt to do. I'm going to lash out with my Bowie knife.
Oh, so it does incur an attack of opportunity by the rules because he's using a reaction. It's only a move that moves a creature without using
That doesn't use
action
reaction.
Or reaction. Yep.
Yeah. That's what
I don't
that's
think
what
it
forced
matters.
movement means. You're absolutely right. So you get it too.
I got a 9 to hit it, so I don't think it matters unless I get to do that with advantage because I was flanking it. But I don't know if that would be the case or
Yeah,
not.
John's also going to try and stab it since he can too with his reaction.
Yeah, you definitely wouldn't be flanking it by the time it moves out of your melee range.
That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah. So John, roll your opportunity attack of opportunity.
I'm rolling at disadvantage, and I get a 7, so he misses.
Okay.
Same thing. With your cane.
No, he has a dagger. He had a dagger also hidden in his belt within his coat, on his belt within his coat, and he just like pulled it out as it went to turn, like trying to free himself as a natural impulse.
Yeah, gotcha.
But it doesn't hit anything important, and it just bounces off its chitin.
Yeah. Literally quite right. As the creature like scurries away, it slices off its hard natural armor. Is that your turn? And then Frank, you're up next. John,
no,
you're up. Aslan, you're up next.
Then after this, John, he's gonna stagger and stumble and like hold his body and just like lurching in pain, and he's going to actually he's gonna like climb onto the cart and then lay prone, I guess, for a moment.
Okay.
And that's his turn. Now it's Aslan.
Aslan will, with both his hand axes drawn, he's gonna run towards Lula and walk around the scorpion and take, before he swings, he's gonna enrage. As he does this, he's gonna
describe
take...
to us what your rage looks like.
Aslan will go behind the scorpion. He'll go like... And then he's gonna swing with his hand axe.
Roll your attacks. Are you doing reckless or just normal attacks?
Normal attacks.
Oh yeah, you're
Yeah,
flanking.
he's
You
already
have advantage
flanking.
anyway.
So first one is an 8. And then
You
yeah, that's it.
8 and
No, he only takes one swing because he already used his bonus action.
oh, you're free. You drew your weapon with a free object interaction.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
No, it's fine. You're raging as a bonus action. You swing the axe
Mhm.
down at the creature and skims off its chitinous armor. It's pretty unharmed. Is that your turn?
Yeah.
The first creature will try and scurry itself and bury itself deep within the sand. Everybody sees it trying to bury itself. There's still patches of this green globule viscous blood like trailing behind it because you two have clearly done enough damage to it that it's not happy. And then these dissonant whispers that are going off in its head, the psychic damage that it's taken is just freaking the creature out, forcing it to try and burrow itself deep down. The second one tries again with both snaps to swipe at the cannon.
Cannon.
That's a miss. And that's a natural 19 plus 4, so 23. I think that hits.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Dice. Where abs be my dice? So that's a total of 7 damage, 7 bludgeoning damage to the cannon.
Okay.
And then the third creature will, still having Lula in its grasp, just pinch to try and snap Lula between its claws. That's 5 bludgeoning damage to Lula. And while snapping backwards at this Leonin that's now tried to fight it, it will swing its tail, and from behind it, even though Aslan is flanking it, you'll notice as the giant scorpion's tail goes, and it strikes at Aslan.
Whoa.
Missing. Natural 5. It wasn't going to hit that one.
Nice.
Yeah.
And with that, that's my turn.
Grim. Frank will
Frank and Saul.
will move his cannon this way, taking the opportunity of attack with it if you want to. Miss?
It's definitely a hit.
That's an AC of 18.
It's natural 16 plus 4, so dirty 20.
Okay.
For 4 bludgeoning damage on it. As you try to retreat, and the creature once again snaps out and pinches the cannon between its claws, biting into the cannon's arcane metal.
Okay. The cannon will in turn shoot back at it with its first ballista. Does a 13 hit?
That's a miss.
Well, then Frank will try and shoot at it with his firebolt. Once again, Frank pulls his gun out of his holster, swings it around, and shoots it. And also misses. So yeah, that's Frank's turn.
There's just snapping and bright lights going off in the darkness. Saul, what are you doing?
All right, Saul is going to scamper all the way over towards Lula. He's not going to be able to make it to her. He's going to end up behind the scorpion that just attacked the sentry. He's going to use a bonus action to take a Kinsei shot at the scorpion attacking Lula and Aslan.
Okay.
Let me roll that. It's a 13 hit.
Nope.
Just misses.
Just misses. Okay, that's fine.
Are you serious? God
Yeah, that's too bad. And then he is going to turn around and use his bonus action to make an unarmed strike against the scorpion right next to him,
Okay.
which he gets a 22 on.
Frank
Or-
will shout out, "Go get him!"
So it'll be 7 points of damage.
7 points of damage. It's a good hit.
Yeah, that was a great
Punch
hit.
into this creature, and your fist just crunches against this chitinous armor.
Right
It
on.
felt that, but it also doesn't look like it's taken any damage in the darkness.
No, it hasn't taken any damage yet, but that's okay. Just want to let him
Yeah.
know I'm here.
Lula and then John. Oh wait, Saul, is that
Alright.
Yeah, that's it.
Not moving
That's all I
anymore.
can
That's
do.
it. Yeah.
Oh well, Lula is going to return the favor that this scaly mother ever did to me and return some blows on it.
With disadvantage, please.
Yeah, with disadvantage. Oh boy. Uh, oh come on! 9.
Oh my god!
Alright, your
9.
second attack with bonus action.
9.
And remember, you can just right click the roll and it'll roll with disadvantage or advantage for you. You can pick.
Oh, okay.
That way it's quicker than rolling twice.
Yeah. Oh crap! Now what? Bonus action. I already used my second win. I'm feeling a little bit woozy. Can I strike again with a bonus action or nah?
Yeah, you can. You have your unarmed fighting
Okay.
style, and it's your offhand strike.
Keep on forgetting about that. Disadvantage. Roll, please. You know what? Yeah, I got a 6.
Natural 1.
So Lula's just like sees two of this scorpion in front of her, and she's just trying to punch the one and misses. So she tries to punch the other one and misses.
Stay still. Stay still.
Bad luck.
That
Oh man.
happens.
So that means it's John and then Aslan.
Alright, so the scorpion that had initially attacked him, he's gonna point a finger at it and still speaking in a weird like alien tongue. And then all of a sudden, people will see like waves of like psychic energy just emanating from the creature's mind as he had told the dead zit. I need a wisdom save, DC 13.
Natural 14. Sorry.
All right, he passes. Yeah, unfortunately, the creature resists. And then John uses half his movement to slowly stand up. And then that's his
Is
turn.
that all you're doing?
Yeah.
Aslan, what's up?
Aslan will take another swing at the scorpion from behind.
Roll your attack. With advantage.
Yeet.
It's a 24.
Nice.
No, that misses, bro.
He hits it for 8
Just
damage.
Just run away. If that misses, just run away.
8 damage. So
Yeah.
your axe just sinks through the creature's chitinous armor, and you hear a satisfying crack as you seem to make a dent in it. The creatures up until this point remain unhit, but it definitely didn't like that.
Aslan will feel very satisfied by this and take another swing. It's crit.
Natural 20.
Nice.
Nice.
Natural 20,
Fuck-
double the
Fuck
dice.
that thing up, bro. Fuck it up.
Let's
Awesome.
That's 13
Nice.
damage.
Dope.
Or does the rage also get doubled? Or
Beautiful.
does the rage get doubled or something?
No, you only had the rage once, but you've been adding it, right?
Alright.
Is it-
Yeah,
is
yeah,
it-
yeah, it's
roll
just the
does-
dice that get doubled.
Yeah.
It's just the dice that get doubled. So what was that? 13?
8 damage. 8 damage.
8 damage plus 13.
8 damage. 8? Oh, 13 is the second one. Yeah.
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 The creature, after taking this first crack, and then now you've got a single axe inside it, so you felt where it is, and you just take the second one, and because you can feel like your axe already inside it, just crack another one. It looks like that hurt it. It's bloodied for sure.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
You like that?
Is that your turn?
Yep.
So, with this, the creatures, the first one will once again try and bury itself in the sand. You guys still see where it is. It rolled a natural 2.
It's still digging.
It's just like the second creature will turn around and with its first claw go reaching out for Saul. That's a miss. The second claw will go. That's also a miss. Wipes at the monk like.
Or is the second one also on Saul, or what?
It was the one that was previously attacking the sentry, has now turned around to attack the monk, the thing hitting it from behind, basically. But I rolled 13 and then a natural 7, so I
Okay.
don't think that
Feel good about that.
Right.
Feel good about that.
would. Like clip, and it's like these hard, heavy snaps just inches from your face. You know,
Yeah.
but it doesn't hit.
Dodging, diving, getting out of the way. I love it. All right.
Just quick bob and weave. But then also, the third scorpion, which has now just been whacked by Aslan twice in the back, drops its grip on Lula, releasing her, sort of discarding her as it turns around to face this thing that's just whacked it brutally in the back and snap at Aslan. Natural 2 again. Okay, your guys' rolls in the last game are now my rolls.
Hey man, I've been
And
rolling.
12
I've been rolling
plus
bad
4,
too.
16. 16 Aslan's. That's above your AC, right?
Yeah, so Aslan he'll dodge one, but then the other will catch him from the right.
So the first one goes to the left, he skips to the right, and the second one just snaps around his waist, doing a grand total of 6 bludgeoning damage, which you half. With you now clasped in its claw, the tail raises itself and goes striking at Aslan. 10 plus 14.
As Aslan sees the tail, he'll swiftly dodge to the right.
And above you feel the wind as this claw just past your head. That's my turn. Frank and then Saul.
All right. Frank's cannon will move into this direction, and then try and hit that scorpion again. Yes, finally, 21.
Nice.
So just this thing just fires, and just a burst a burst of force energy just launches towards it, knocking it 5 feet backwards away from it,
Okay.
and doing 14 force damage.
So just so I have this right, it's 5 feet away from where the cannon is, so it moves to the north. Right?
Yeah.
It moves like 1 block to the north.
And in this case, because it's not moving on its own accord, I would not get an attack of opportunity.
Now you don't get the
No.
attack of opportunity. Yeah, makes sense to me. Still, it's now
Was he
5
not
feet.
previously grappled?
Soul wasn't grappled. It didn't make either of
No,
them.
he dodged it.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
How many
sorry,
damage?
man, I
Sorry.
entered the wrong. 14 force.
14 cheese damage.
Cheese for everyone. Natural 20 on that firebolt.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah,
he's going
boy.
down, man. He's toast.
Doing a total of 17 fire damage.
Holy.
Oh, crispy.
As Frank
Crispy.
you see Frank reloading his gun and taking a little bit of a better aim this time and just shoots it. And again a firebolt just shoots towards it and just there's like little flames coming off of it now. This dude is toast.
The creature definitely didn't like that, and the parts of its chitin that aren't shattered and broken from the force damage are now starting to like wisp in these little balls of flame, and you hear a slight sizzle.
Everybody can smell everybody can now smell the
smells
scent
like chicken.
of burnt scorpion. Yes, burnt scorpion.
It's still up?
It's still up.
Holy crap. Okay.
Kaya, do you want to put this above the Quest and Quill one? I'm sending it in the group chat now.
Sure.
This is what the scorpion is like right now.
Finally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did some damage, guys. Finally did some damage.
That's awesome.
So you can
Alright.
put that above the queue. I think it'll be great. The creature is more than bloodied. It looks like it's on its last legs.
Okay. Saul is going to take a shot at the one. He's going to put that one out of its misery with a quick shot if he can.
Go for it.
12.
That's a miss.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, he's going to shrug and he's going to scamper away and slide partially underneath the other wounded one. He's going to take 2 jabs with a flurry of blows.
Okay. Which just move yourself on the thing. I don't see which one you're going towards.
The one to the
Down
south.
one. The one below.
Okay.
Yeah, so the first attack misses, but he gets a natural 20 on the second attack.
Beautiful. That's like what? 4 nat 20s in one fight, guys?
Hell
5?
yeah.
This is the 5th one now. So yeah, the one that Soul just missed, but that Frank just toasted, is a bit extra crispy.
Extra crispy, yeah.
I did a total of 7 damage on that second attack as I slid underneath the
Is that the entire combination from your flurry of blows? That's both
It
hits.
does occur to me that the first attack, technically, not narratively, but technically I would have gotten advantage on because I'm flanking. So if you'll let me re-roll that one, I can. But it's up to you.
I mean, as you're moving past, the thing has got Aslan grips, so if you want to go from behind it, you can have advantage on the flank. I'll give
Okay,
it to
that's
you.
what I'm going to do. 1 attack with the advantage. It doesn't matter, I missed. So,
Okay.
it's a total of 7 damage.
Wait, but the way the first one should have just been the crit, and then the second one should have still you running with advantage because you rolled twice.
Yeah, no,
It's fine.
it's okay. I'll
He comes fast trying to flank it and goes for the first punch. Nothing. And then the second one just gives it, a nice clean cut, just hooks it to the side.
Yeah, he just
So that's
cracked
it.
That Mike Tyson hook. Bam.
Yeah. I
Same
like that
thing.
he broke one of its legs or something like that.
The natural chitinous armor on this creature just cracks underneath your hardened monk fists.
All right, that's my turn, guys.
So, Lula up next, and then John.
I'm grappling onto the tail.
You're gonna grab the tail. You have disadvantage on the strength roll, but you're flanking, so that's a straight roll. Go for it.
All right, here we go. Oh, for cry out 9. I'm not having a good night tonight, guys.
Hey, my roll lower than you. Let's see.
Technically, it's a contested strength roll, so yeah. I rolled a natural 1.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's a good night again.
Yeah.
Lula, still wavy, seeing these two tails on either side of her, sort of decides to go in the middle and just grabs this thing. You now have the tail grappled. I'm gonna say it can't make a tail attack. What else do you want to do with your turn?
Oh, bonus action. Wait a second. Can I even attack with my bonus action?
You have it grappled, so you can still take like a little bit of a punch with your second strike, but it is still a disadvantage.
Don't care. Yep, doing that.
Why not?
Yeah. Rolling. And the crowd goes mild 7.
So you're holding this thing in your arm, and it's like shaking you around, and you're just like with your nausea state, and it doesn't quite work out. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm afraid that's your turn. So John, you're up next, and then Aslan.
Right. John's gonna turn towards the scorpion that's grappling Aslan, and he's going to toll the dead. A wisdom save, DC 13.
It's a good move.
Damn, that thing has
12
range.
minus 1. That's an 11.
And it takes 6 negative energy damage.
6 negative energy. What? It's just taking bad vibes damage.
So
Emotional damage.
Well, so his eyes, like, they usually glow green, but now they begin to glow purple. And from the creature's wounds, they seem to be bleeding like red electricity from it for a moment, or purple electricity even. Sorry, and it crackles and sizzles, worsening its injuries.
So where you could see this creature was bleeding before, the spell goes off and its whole body sort of just like cracks, and this viscous dark blood liquid that was leaking from the holes that you guys have already made in it just starts to leak out ever more intensely. It's really not looking that healthy, hey? It's really not looking good.
Then that's John's turn.
Good.
Aslan, what you doing? You're grappled.
Aslan will try to take a swing anyways while being grappled. Gonna try to like, yeah. That's a disadvantage roll, right?
Yeah.
No, your movement is just zero.
Okay.
Regular roll.
Oh, never mind.
Safe.
He's not poisoned.
Yeah, he's not poisoned.
So he hits it with his right hand for 23.
That's definitely a hit roll damage, yeah.
6.
You smash down into the claw of this creature and just track through its chitin.
Did it get him?
Yeah, straight up, that hurt. It
All
didn't
right,
like
then,
it.
Is it? Okay, so it's
so
still alive. It's...
Did Aslan break free or?
No, you've cracked into its thing, but you feel the grasp of its claw. It's the nerves, whatever you've hit, have just pinched it. So it's not going anywhere.
Okay. Let's take another swing at it.
Roll
That's
your attack and
22.
just do your damage at the same time. Yeah, go for it.
It's 5 or 7 actually.
No, 8.
Same thing. Oh yeah, 8 total with your rage damage.
No, it's 7. 5 plus 2 from the rage.
5 plus 2 from the rage.
Oh, right, it doesn't do the thing, right?
Right.
Hey, guess what, bro? It's still enough.
Nice.
Yeah.
How would you like to end this creature's pitiful existence?
So I guess he will swing at his claw that was grabbing him. So he'll swing it with enough force that it will completely chop off the claw clean, and the scorpion slowly dies out. He bleeds out and dies with a little whimper.
So you strike into the claw with your first attack, and this creature and you feel its nerves clench tightly on you, and then you strike into the claw the second time, completely severing the limb now, and the claws which were previously grip even tighter for a second, and then release and drop to the ground while the creature whimpers back, and this one sort of thing, you see this black viscous liquid leaking from it as the creature sways around, and as it sways, its legs sort of lose movement and collapses into the sand.
Heck yeah.
Dead.
Nice.
Woo!
That's it.
That's one down.
Yep.
Then it's my turn. the first creature, Dissonant Whispers.
It's just that one turn that it has to
Yeah.
move away.
The thing is, I'm not sure. Like the creature's also not looking so healthy, so I'm gonna roll a morale check to see what it says. I'm gonna roll a stealth check to see if you guys can see it escaping. This creature is just like trying to get the fuck out of dodge, but you guys can all still see where it is. The second creature, which is still up, this one is now dead. He is now unalive.
Unalive.
This second creature sees the thing that just took a shot at it, but it's not like burning up in flames or whatever, and instead of going for this thing that just hit it with the force damage, it heads towards the source of this burning light, and it charges at Frank. It's going to make the first claw attack, which it just like, Frank is so short, the creature just whiffs right above his head. And the second one is a natural 18 for a 22 total, which I think hits, let's be honest, yeah? Doing 5 bludgeoning damage. You are now grappled. With the creature whiffing the first shot, seeing that you're too short for it, goes in for the second one, grabs you around your little gnomish waist, and with you, grasping its claw, the tail goes up and 4 and 8 total, so you're good. But it still does the 5 bludgeoning damage.
Is that
And
your
that's
turn?
my turn.
Okie dokie.
I'm not trying to kill you guys anymore. We can still be friends.
My cannon's gonna move over here and try and hit it with its force ballista again. For a 14.
That's its armor class.
That means it hits.
How many
and it
13s
gets
have you
pushed.
guys rolled?
A lot.
Too many.
No.
Too many.
So much to the point where I
Too
was
many.
like, a 14 hits? Like, are you sure?
Yeah, maybe. I just know that he said it earlier, and so it gets pushed away.
In the opposite direction, so one towards yeah. And how much force damage does it take? Is it more than 7?
Yes, way more. It's 12.
Proceed.
So this thing just gets hit with a bunch of force damage, and it just, as it gets blown 5 feet back, its limbs just fly off, and this thing bleeds to death. It's no longer
Have
standing.
you guys?
Bloody
Has anybody ever hit an insect in the air with like a rolled up newspaper, and you just see like its bits just splatter? This creature's chitinous armor shatters as the force hits it, and it's a bug in the windshield.
I'm imagining the scorpion looks like it's made of Legos for a moment. It's just
Yeah,
breaking
like-
apart. Nice.
With an equal amount of splat, you know.
And then Frank would therefore move upwards and try to hit the last guy. As he casts his firebolts, he'll just say, "Piss off!"
It's
Oh,
been
wait,
trying to
no.
bury itself for a while. It has half cover, so it +2 to its AC, but roll your attack.
Wait, hold on, that's the wrong roll. It has 24.
Okay, that still hit. Don't worry.
Doing 6 fire damage.
It didn't like that, but it's now stopped trying to bury itself at least and taken notice of the fact that things are attacking it. With that, Soul is up next, and then Lula.
I have a question. This scorpion, is it out in the dark? Like, would I get a disadvantage if I tried to attack it as a human?
Yeah, straight up.
Okay, so what Saul's going to do is he's going to scramble by our fire and use a free object interaction with one of the torches he's got on his belt to light the torch as he runs by.
Okay.
That's going to give him, I think that's going to be like 10 feet of movement. I'm going to use Step of the Wind to use a bonus action to kind of just scramble over as fast as you've ever seen him move before, probably. It probably looks a little otherworldly.
Is your path of movement through the thorn bush?
How tall is the thorn bush? I guess is my question.
You could leap as a monk. You could probably jump it. You give yourself the
part of Step of the Wind is that you also like double your jumping as well.
Yeah, no, with step of the wind, you're clear, bro. You're good. Don't worry, you got this.
Yeah, he's gonna
with step of the wind. You don't even need to make a roll. You good.
Thank you. He's gonna light that torch. He's gonna kind of bound over the sand and then that bramble patch and land up there. And then he's gonna use the remainder of his initial movement, which there's not much left, but it's enough to get up on that guy.
Yeah, no, straight up. You can.
And
you dash to the fire, light your torch, and with unnatural, uncanny movement, just leap over the bush and get into range with this creature. No worries, you can do that.
This guy, and he's going to take a. I believe with the Step of the Wind, that just uses a bonus action. So I think he just gets one attack on this. I think that's all he can do.
Unless you want to use more key points, yeah.
I can use key points more than once in the same round?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could, as far as I understand with monks, you can use as many key points as you want.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like...
In that
monks
case...
are equivalent to Warlock in that way, where you guys can blow like your entire thing in 30 seconds, you know?
In that case, that changes things. I'm going to take a... I'm going to take a key point to do Flurry of Blows, so I'm going to get 2 attacks on this guy. I'm going to use my Bowie knife and then an offhanded attack.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Step on the Wind is your bonus action, isn't it?
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. That's why I was a little confused by it.
Oh,
But
no, but then,
also-
you can't use a bonus action twice. But isn't there a thing that gives you an extra attack as a monk?
That's the thing. That's why I'm using Flurry of Blows. That's why I'm doing 3 attacks instead of 2. But I think there might be a thing... No.
Flurry of Blows isn't a bonus action?
I can't do Flurry of Blows because that's a bonus action.
Yeah,
So no,
you can only attack once.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is just a
Yeah.
standard
It just makes
attack.
your bonus. It just makes your bonus action attack into, instead of 1 bonus action attack, you have 2. That's what your Flurry of Blows does.
Okay, in that case, here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do that standard attack, which I rolled a 10 on, which is not going to be enough. And then I'm going to use a second key point to use patient defense. Give myself... Well, no, I can't do that either. I'm not going to do anything, guys. I'm done. My turn's done.
Okay.
Okay.
Now it's
with
Lula.
Lula?
All right,
And then you, John.
Lula's going to stumble all the way over here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Over here, and she's going to whip out her hammerlock pistol, and with disadvantage, she doesn't care. At least she can see the scorpion guy, and just shoot. Shoot.
Why would she get disadvantage?
She's
I'm
still
still
poisoned.
Yeah, she's poisoned.
Oh, right. Okay.
And
Almost like poison
Lula
isn't the most
is-
common thing to have. Sorry.
I got a 9.
99999.
Yeah, I had a feeling. Well, that missed, and then, with the bonus action, Lula's gonna do nothing.
Okay. What a constructive turn, Lula. That's
Hell
John
yeah.
up next.
Throwing shade at Lula.
All right.
Soul's gonna come kick my ass.
John's gonna cast a Mind Sliver on it. I need an Intelligence 13 in save. Intelligence save. DC 13.
I rolled a 5, and it has a -5, So literally a 0.
And it takes
So-
one psychic damage.
1 psychic damage.
Yes.
Hey, it's not nothing.
Yeah.
It's something.
And it has a minus 1d4 on its next saving throw.
I will get my caltrops out.
And that's a John's turn.
Aslan, what you doing?
Aslan will look towards the last scorpion, and then he's gonna charge towards it as much as he can. Which I
Do
guess
you charge
should
into the
be
thorn bush, yes or no?
probably go around it.
You have dark vision. You
10,
can see it.
15, 20, 25, 30, 35. This is about as far as he can go.
Yeah.
And
How's it going?
he's gonna try to throw a javelin at it.
Roll your attack.
It's a 17.
That's a hit.
Cool. Then it's rage does not count towards thrown weapons, does it?
Yeah, it does. As long as you're using
Oh.
strength, which you are,
All
which you
right.
can with thrown weapons.
Is it
Then
more than a
it's-
7?
It is
It is a
exactly
7.
7.
Well, if the rage counts, then it's a 7. Otherwise, it's a 5.
It's all yours, bro.
Then Aslan will throw his javelin with such strength that it's gonna go clean through the scorpion.
As the scorpion is just ready to go for Saul again, and Saul has tried to take his things and just whiffed these attacks against it. Lula takes a shot. The gunshot echoes in the night. And as the gunshot echoes in the night, he hears as this angry big cat throws this javelin, and Saul sees the javelin for a second, and then the javelin disappears into the sand as the creature sways and then collapses to the ground. And from both sides, this horrible, viscous, black, bloody fluid just spurts.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Fucking metal.
Then after that climactic finish, you hear in the darkness over by the cart, I think I'm dying, guys. This is it.
Saul will scramble over to John since I think he's still the close. Well,
Oh, Frank is definitely the closest.
was still though. Well, we're out. I don't know. Frank can do that. Actually, I'm sorry. I forgot we were.
Yeah, Frank.
I forgot we were no longer in initiative order, but also that wouldn't matter because it would still be your turn. So that's stupid.
It's okay. Well, you can come closer while Frank approaches him too. So yeah, Frank will climb up on top of the carts to reach John and look at the damage.
Yeah. John has a hand like over on his shoulder. You see, there's a large puncture wound within it, and there's like a tear in his tunic over like by his shoulder where he had been grabbed and grappled by the creature's pincer. And I guess like some kind of liquid like oozes from the wound other than blood. And then he says, I think I can see the light. Savior, I'm coming, he says as he stretches his hand out towards the stars.
And can Frank do like a medicine check or something to see how actually hurt he is, or if he's just exaggerating?
Roll for it. Go ahead.
As Frank checks, Aslan will look really sad and he'll say, "Nice to know you, John." And then he'll look down and start sobbing.
And then he would put his hand. He would stop stretching his hand out to the sky and instead stretch it towards Aslan, and he'll say, "Aslan, remember me."
Roll a 16, by the way.
He's pretending
Man.
to be passed out.
Man's poisoned, and he clearly is like nauseous and experiencing symptoms. but he's also being a bit of a bitch.
Basically, I wanna see whether or not Frank wants to decide to heal him, or if any of the other companions need it more, and he's just screaming wolf. That's basically what Frank's
To
trying
be fair, is John bloodied? Are you on below half health?
Oh yeah, so before he even acted, he was at 5 health, grappled, and poisoned. Before I even got my
gosh.
turn.
John-
Okay.
John looks hurt.
Okay.
He looks hurt. He's clearly being a drama queen, but he also looks like he's been messed up, man.
Yeah, you can
Okay,
see
okay.
he does have like tears in his eyes, and he's all sweaty and like shaking. He's definitely like making it theatrical for some reason almost, but he's also in legitimate pain.
All right. So Frank will put his hand on his wounds and cast Cure Wounds, and as he's doing this, his hand just lights up, and he just says, "There, you'll be all right, you big baby."
And then you heal him,
he
and
casts-
then John immediately like snaps to, and he's like, "Oh my God, Frank, you've saved me! Thank you. I was at
Nine-
death's door. Oh, I know
nine
you
damage,
drink after that
nine health,
one.
by the way. All right.
Yay.
So Frank will say, "Yeah, you do," as he grabs his flask and takes a swig, puts it back in his pocket.
I think Saul will approach Lula just to make sure she's still standing, make sure she's all right. I'll just wordlessly approach her, look her over.
Well, Lula is like trying to stand on both her feet properly, but a little bit woozy. She sees Soul approaching, 2 souls approaching. She's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Just need some sleep. I'll be fine. Good night, guys.
Yeah,
Good night. Love you all."
Can I
You
look
can
her
roll
over
an
and
insight
make sure
check on. You can roll an insight check on that. I'm fine as much as you want, but you know that it's not true. You can see that it's not true.
I would like to do like first aid on her when she lays down.
Yeah, cool. You have medicine. Roll your medicine check. You don't have the healer feat, though, do you? So you can't
The
actually
healer feat, I do. I just have really good medicine.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then you can't like actually heal the thing, but you can do first aid and make sure she's alright.
Okay.
Soul, it's fine. I just need some sleep. I'm not as bad as. Yeah. I'm not as bad as John. Just woozy. Just let me.
He's gonna
just
give
need
her.
some sleep.
He's gonna give her a flask of whiskey, so she'll be quieter.
I'll drink it.
All right. I got a 15 on my medicine check. I don't know if that helps in any way.
Stop
She's
touching.
poisoned.
That's it?
And hurt. She's
Okay.
taken some hits.
Okay.
Other than that, she's not in any life-threatening danger currently.
Cool. All right.
It seems to just be coursing through her veins, and Lula and John, who both had this poison inside them, you guys can feel it. Like, not only does it make you nauseous and feel sick and whatever, but this pain, you could feel it almost in your veins. Every time your heart beats, your veins just with this ache.
Oh.
Did my cure
What are you
cure
guys
wounds
gonna
have any
do?
effect on?
What was that?
It cure wounds? No, it doesn't. Need a
Right.
restoration spell or something,
Yeah.
or a cure poison,
Yeah, fair.
something along those lines.
So
Cure wounds. You see, like the puncture wound close up, and the bruises from the blood, from like the grappling, subside, but the poison doesn't seem to go away, and John still seems to be in pain.
yeah, John would drag himself off of the cart and staggeringly like make himself stand on the dirt, and he's lurched over and using his walking cane to like actually walk for once instead of just using it for style, and he uses it to like limp over towards the fire, and he's clearly sweating and shaking, and he does have like odd twitches in his body as you see him wince, and then he goes and lays on his bedroll and he says, Can someone keep watch? I think I need to sleep this off.
I think
The early hours of dawn are upon you. If you would like to take a short rest, you can do that.
Okay.
Yes, please.
one of the things I would like to do is I would like to see if I can harvest any of that scorpion venom from the 3 bodies.
You can give me a medicine check or a survival check, or medicine or survival.
Okay.
So how tough was the scorpion's body parts and whatever?
It's at 21.
Titan. You can probably harvest about 2 vials worth of scorpion poison. And you can
Okay.
just write it down.
Yeah, I'll hit you up about that later.
Yeah, cool. The chitin is tough, but you also notice that it cracked under impact from a fist. So it's a light, tough material, but in terms of crafting, it's not something you would take particular interest in. Particularly with your background more being metallurgy and smithing, the chitin is sort of like a more natural material than what you're used to dealing with. It's not something that would pique your interest.
Okay.
Before we proceed,
Then-
everyone can have a short rest. Is there anything else?
Yeah, Aslan chops off a scorpion tail and takes it.
Cool. Write it down.
The whole tail? Or just
You guys
the
can all have a
stinger?
short rest.
Is he taking the whole tail
I've
or just
got
the
a
stinger, Aslan?
The Sanger, he takes it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did my
Yeah,
short rest.
just took a short rest.
Good to go.
Okay, cool.
Is he still poison when he comes to?
After an hour, the poison subsides. You're
Okay.
feeling better.
Thank gosh.
I think I hear someone calling me. Could you guys give me like 2 minutes?
Sure.
You all wake up from this short rest, and you can proceed to do whatever you would do by the firelight as you wake up and have your morning rations and whatever. Sorry.
All right. So as the dawn sun shines on John's face, he's like looking around all bleary-eyed, and then he puts his hand over his body, over his shoulder, and he's like, "Oh God, I actually think I feel a little bit better. Still a little achy though." And then he like pushes himself to his feet, and he dusts off his clothes, and then he looks at his hands, and he's like, "I look like shit. Oh my God, what have I got myself into?" He says.
I think Saul might be crouching nearby watching him, and when he straightens up, he'll hand him the flask of whiskey that he's brought along.
And he says, "Oh, thank you. You're a saint, Saul." And then he goes and he takes a swig from it. Feel better already. Thank you, my friends. And then he gives back the flask. And then
That's it away.
mhm. And he looks around and he's like, "How are the others?"
Shrugs. Looks over at Lulu, a little bit worried.
Well, Lula is having woken up. She's just sitting, eating her rations, just taking in account what happened last night, thinking maybe she might need to invest in some stronger armor.
And how about you,
Maybe a
Aslan?
breast.
How are you? Think you took some hits, didn't you? It's hard to see in the dark.
He also doled out some great hits. Frank will note.
Just one, but didn't feel it.
That's good. Well, I'm glad to see that you just bounce right back, Lula. He says, straining a smile.
Just kind of lucky. Thankfully, I'm a bit of a meaty girl, so the poison didn't. I'm still in pain.
He chuckles and like looks her over from even though she's like sitting from feet to head, and he's like, "That you are."
I'm glad you're all right there, John.
Yeah, I am feeling a little bit better. What some whiskey won't do, huh? Have you taken a drink yet?
I don't like drinking it too early in the morning, but hey, Aslan, Nice work out there, man. Like, again, nice. You just
Oh.
killing things out. You too,
Uh,
Frank. You too.
Thank you. Thank you. You too.
Frank will sip his hat. I do what I can.
Yes, well done,
All
everyone.
right.
Especially you,
As you guys,
Saul, who covered me while when that thing grabbed me. I really appreciate the help.
He straightens up a little bit. He looks a little proud of himself. You notice he's kind of demonstrating he didn't get hit once in the fight. He's being a little cocky, and then he reaches down to help you up.
He says, he takes your hand and accepts it and pulls himself up and smiles, and he says, I'm not as handy with my hands as you might be, but if anything else comes upon me again, I wouldn't mind some more assistance next time. Once again, if you're able to.
He nods amicably and then nods towards the third scorpion corpse that you'd blasted earlier, which I imagine probably still has some eldritch energy smoking off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And like kind of nods at it
in
appreciatively.
about an hour, and there are still thin wisps of smoke rising
Yeah.
from the corpse.
Yeah, it'd be like you see like purple smoke. It looks like an odd color, almost as if it had like glitter in it, so it like scintillates a little bit.
Yeah,
He's a tiny bit in the morning sunlight.
He definitely nods appreciatively at it and kind of gives you a look that it's like a mixture of like grudging respect and a little bit of fear.
So, Nick, can I ask what the scorpion meat smells like? That's been that has definitely been roasted by my firebolt.
Oh yeah, that one's jerky.
It has a similar smell to if you ever burnt something over a barbecue, and the fat ignites. It's that burning fat sinew smell, basically.
So it
not
doesn't
pleasant.
it doesn't
It
smell
does-
like steak. Doesn't smell like filet
Nah.
mignon.
Yeah,
It
you know,
definitely doesn't make your mouth water, hey? And the rations that you were given, which are very basic rations, it doesn't make them any more appetizing.
All right.
okay. Well,
So
So as you guys have this conversation and enjoy your coffee and your time by the fire, dawn rises around you and the sun rises above what you assume is the ocean in the far east. And as it does, you look around to the desert landscape surrounding you to notice what you hadn't noticed the previous evening, which is the bones that litter the little dunes around you. And as you look more and more to the sand dunes from which the scorpions emerged, you see skeletons and skulls and signs of decay. You weren't the first victims of this place, that's for certain. And as you're looking around, does anyone have a passive perception higher than 14?
I probably do.
I do. No, I don't. I lied.
Yeah, let me
Now-
take a look. My passive perception is 15.
As you guys are looking around and the light rises, you see figures in the distance down the rail. And one of these figures sort of waves a hand in your general direction, but you can clearly see that there's more than one.
It's going to do a little half wave back.
do you see something, Saul?
He points towards them. He points them out.
What the?
As you all start to take notice, emerging from down the track, a group of figures, and at first it seems like 5, then maybe 6, 7, 8, 12, 14. A party of strange-looking humanoid seems to be approaching you guys rather rapidly.
I don't like the look of this.
Can I try to get a better look at them? See if they're like infected, like that one guy was last session. Tentacles.
John's gonna try and hide
From what you
behind the cart.
can see, you can roll your perception, and I'll judge it based on that. From what you can see from now, they look like people, if kind of pointier, maybe fluffier, but pointier seems to be the more apt description.
I got a natural 20.
Natural 20. As you sort of gaze off and trying to check out what the hell is going on, you swear to God, it looks like a hedgehog.
Oh God!
But it's a hedgehog person, maybe. And then you actually take notice as they approach closer. It's a group of hedgehog folk.
Gotcha.
And they're making their way towards you guys right now.
That's excellent.
Frank will hide behind Aslan.
I took their. I think I took their language as one of my languages. That's one of the things I wanted to do.
The John.
I remember we spoke about this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
John runs over behind the bramble bush that Saul had jumped over, and he tries to hide behind it.
Okay.
Okay. Saul's gonna approach them with his hands up and greeting.
I'd like to join Saul, mimicking whatever he's doing.
So, the party stops a little ways off. You can all sort of see now their hedgehog-like appearance. I'm going to put them at the bottom of the map, and I'm only going to put a representative handful. They're on the side of the rail. And you notice that there's a motley crew of these hedgehog individuals that are looking upon you. And a single one steps forward, and he seems to have longer quills than the rest. And opposed to being a porcupine, opposed to being a hedgehog, he seems to appear more porcupine-ish with black and white long quills off of his body. He carries himself with an air of grace and steps forward towards you, and he has this large tribal necklace which has weaved leather and claws and spikes, and carries a large spear in one hand. And as he steps forward, he pokes the spear into the ground. He goes, "G'day, mates. Looks like you're in a dunny boat and paddling like shit, eh?"
Saul's going to nod at this with the friendliest smile he can muster, which is a big ask for him.
Lula just looks confused.
"What you doing around these parts? You know, welcome you. You don't know that?"
Are they coming from the direction we were headed? Or...
Yeah, they're coming from the south.
Okay. He's going to gesture to the rail and then onward to signify that they're following the rail.
This figure in front of you, this porcupine, this tall, regal porcupine figure, sort of looks at you and he goes, "What's the problem? Cat got your tongue?"
He nods.
Frank will move over to John and kind of be like, "Hey, don't let him do the talking for us. He doesn't talk. Go talk to them."
Are they dangerous? He asks, peeking from behind the bramble bush, trying to peek a look at bramble bush. Yeah, he was like hiding behind a large bush.
Yeah, no. What did you ask? Sorry.
Yeah, what did you ask?
Sorry. He asks, "Are they dangerous?" He says, he kind of looks afraid from what happened like an hour or two ago. He's paranoid.
Is he saying that out loud?
Yeah.
For every.
Well, I mean, he's kind of far, right? Like you guys are like 100 feet away.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I wasn't sure if you were shouting it or not.
Yeah.
Does Aslan know anything about them?
Aslan's from further to the north, but you would recognize them as hedgehog folk. They're just another tribe of beast folk. They're more of the southern plains clan than a northern plains clan. They wouldn't have interacted with your people so much. But you know of them, and you know of their stories, and you know of the fact that if you approach from behind one, they're said to, if you sniff one from behind, it's said to be a very sharp smell. Is the joke?
So Frank, upon hearing the question from John, Frank will just shout it out and be like, "Are they dangerous?" Looking both towards like Aslan and to the rest of the guys.
Saul's gonna look back and shake his head, and then gesture to how he's kept his weapon sheathed. Got a motion like, put your weapons down. Everyone relax. And he's gonna turn back to them.
Frank will like basically have his cannon lower and not be directly aimed at him anymore, and tell John, "All right, go do it, man. Go talk to him."
It's been a short rest. Does your cannon not deactivate after a while? Can you just have it active all the time?
Yeah, it just says that I can't make one while it's still there, but it doesn't say how long. You can have one cannons at a time and can't create one while your cannon is present. It just has to run out of HP, I believe.
Okay, cool. No worries.
So John, he takes a deep breath and he takes a moment to like recollect himself. He's like, and then he straightens up and stands up from his hiding position, and he tries to like smooth out his coat, but he definitely looks haggard. He's not someone who's accustomed to sleeping rough, so he looks like shit, even though he's in somewhat fancy clothes. And then he walks over to the gathering without the assistance of his cane, trying to look strong, but not really succeeding.
Who's this one? Looks like a fucking weirdo to me.
Saul nods encouragingly at this, enthusiastically.
And John says, well met, Mr. Animal People. My name's John Morello. These here are my friends Saul, Aslan, Lula, and Frank. He names them as he gestures to each of them, and he says, and we're here on a task by the railroad company. You see, we're supposed to follow this path here to the tunnels to, he looks to the others, to the south, right? Was it? South is that way, right? And he points down like past the hedgehogs.
Who you calling an animal? You look like more of a stranger than I do.
Oh,
My name is Chief Spike.
Chief Spike? Oh, okay. That makes sense. But I'm sorry, I meant no offense. I just say animal people because I don't know what to call you.
None taken. With the hedgehog clan. What are you guys looking for?
We're looking for some missing people and a broken down locomotive to the tunnels south of here, as far as I know it.
At what you said, he sort of stops for a second and looks around to his other companions, specifically to this sort of hooded tracker-looking figure behind him, and another. And then he looks at you and goes, "Well, you're in luck. Looks like we're looking for people too."
Oh, whatever do you mean?
We lost some folk. We sent a small hunting party and we haven't seen them again.
In the tunnels to the south, you say?
Around the mountains, but through the desert as well.
Well, we're kind of already doing this other job, but if we happen upon your people, we can give word that you're looking for them.
Are you with those people from the big camp?
He looks to the others and he's like, yes, suppose we are. Although we just arrived there, not one night ago.
We found one of your kind. We took him to a ranch. You might be in luck.
Okay. Would you mind taking us to him? Or her?
I mean, we already took him to the ranch and we're a bit busy, but I can direct you.
And which way is this ranch then?
He leans on his spear, and as he's leaning on his spear, he like sort of points in the south, but more towards like the right hand side of the rail. And he goes, maybe half a day that way, towards the tunnel. It's not out of your way too much, I don't think.
I suppose I could do with a bed. Hopefully they have one to spare at this ranch. What do you say, fellas? Shall we go check out this this rescuee? I suppose is the term.
Saul nods and then turns his gaze back to the hedgehog people and gestures his thanks. I guess it would be a nod. I don't know if he's fairly familiar with them, right? Could he do like a...
You've met hedgehog folk before. Indeed, you have. You also took a beast folk language, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
It was Minotaur or something like that, right?
I didn't know what any of them were. I just know I wanted to be the hedgehog.
I'm just gonna say you have beast folk common, which means you don't understand every word they're saying, but you get the gist of it because there is a uniting theme that runs through all of these languages, even though they are disparate and diverse dialects.
That's perfect.
And to the rest of you, it sounds like Mesiku huyu Mungu aitoki hapa, huyu mtu ni tofauti, kweli natoka mjini, sio kutoka hapa. And the rest of you, and Saul, what you hear this guy saying is, yeah, really, this guy's not one of us, hey? God, this guy must definitely be from town. He's not from around here.
Okay. Yeah, he's definitely gonna gesture to them like that the conversation's over and that he's grateful. I don't know if there's like a hand motion or anything that they use that's like a traditional like farewell before he starts walking towards where they pointed.
You know that it's a general thing amongst beast folk, but specifically amongst the hedgehog and the more southern tribes, that it's polite to nod your head and avert your eyes.
Okay, then that is what he's going to do.
Lula mimics that.
Yeah, try to lead the way towards where they directed.
Right.
He
So John nods his head and bows, but he doesn't avert his eyes.
he like, you hear the voice again say again, huyu mjinga kweli hajui kufanya kitu chochote, and basically like he says, this guy's snotty, I suppose would be a good translation for how he's trying to say it. He really doesn't know how to do anything. And with that, he points towards the tracker and he goes, hey, Eustace, help them get to the ranch, yeah?
Saul stops and looks to the would-be guide. What does he look like?
He is a hedgehog folk with spikes significantly shorter than the porcupine man who seems to be leading the clan. He's covered in leathers and skins from previous hunts. He has a short bow on his side with a quiver of arrows and at least a single dagger clearly visible. You would know that from the beast folk, they generally carried bone or stone daggers. This one seems to be made of metal. And on top of that, he has a spear, which he also seems to be leaning on in a similar manner to the chief. The chief speaks out to you and he goes, this is my guide. He'll help get you where you need to go. Just be careful, yeah? Watch out for shifting sand.
You are too kind, Chief Spike, and we will not forget this favor of yours. If you ever have need of us again and we happen upon us, don't hesitate to ask. We'll see what we can do.
He nods his head, averting his eyes, and says, if you see some hedgehog pups, just look after them until we find you again, yeah?
Sure. But if we were to have time to come bring them to you, where is your tribe located?
We have a camp to the east of here. If you find the tame lands, then you'll know that that's where we are. Saul will know where this place is. It's a place that belongs to the tame clans of the beast folk. Basically, everybody signed treaties with the colonial government in one way, shape, or form.
All right, sounds good. He's gonna nod in affirmation, and in a reassuring way towards John, so he knows that it's understood and well in hand.
Okay then. Well, all right. Thank you for your time, Chief, and you spiky people. We'll see you around.
Frank
We'll
will
see you around.
Frank will want to interrupt and say, "Wait, but shouldn't we ask about the locomotive too? They might have some information for us. It is still a job we gotta finish."
There's like an awkward pause from a John, and he seems like hesitant.
And from Spike, and he looks at you and goes, "What's a locomotive? What's a locomotive?"
Aslan will step forward and he'll do like this. You do like this, and then it goes like this, and then yeah.
Almost there.
The hedgehog man takes an immediate eye out, noticing the Leonin stepping forward, gives him an eye up and down, and goes, "Watch out for this one. Turn your head and they'll bite you from behind."
So Frank will have a smile at the demonstration that Aslan just gave, and he'll say, "It's do you guys know what a train is? You know those big things that ride on these tracks here?" And then he points towards the tracks.
The chief sort of goes, "A train? Yeah, I know what a train is. I train every day."
Right. Yeah.
John says, "Never mind. You've been helpful enough."
Can I do an insight check to see if he's being purposely obtuse so he doesn't have to tell us where the locomotive is?
You could, but you also know that the locomotive, he said it's inside the tunnel.
Right.
So if these guys don't know that it's inside the tunnel, they're from the plains. They're not like involved in arc politics.
That's
You roll
fair.
your insight check, but it doesn't like.
I'm
You
mostly
get the
concerned about whether or not
vibe
they've,
from this guy that it's like. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I just wanted to use it just to see if they're trying to change the subject, so to speak. Like maybe there's something they're hiding about the locomotive. Maybe not where its location is, but anything about it.
Roll your insight check. I'll see if you glance anything else from it.
Okay.
In the meantime, you hear him say, well, wanaongea sana. Which Saul will understand as meaning, yo, these guys, they speak a lot, huh?
He nods. Indeed, they do. He got an 8 on his insight check, so I don't think that he would suspect anything.
Dude seems pretty chill.
Yeah, he seems like a cool dude. All right.
With that, Chief Spike nods, puts his head down, says, well, you take Ustis, and good luck to you. See you around, I guess. Good day. And he gives you a little thing and starts leading his little band away.
Good day, sir.
All right.
And so John, he turns back towards the south and takes a deep breath, and he's like, I guess we walk from here.
To the
And then,
ranch, though.
yeah, and then he starts walking towards the south after they've collected their camp and all that stuff.
With that, the party begins their long march down the railroad through ever sandier deserts. You start to see the heat waves emanate up and what look like puddles in the distance, but you know that they are just the sand playing tricks on your mind. It's hot. Terribly hot. But this tracker seems to be guiding you down the rails and then diverts you only after a minute. You start to approach what looks like a raggedy, cracked, broken down building. And with that, we're going to stop. Until next time.
Fair enough. Hey!
Very nice.
So, to all of the 7 people watching, thank you so much again, guys. We appreciate all of your support. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Hopefully this time without the technical issues, so we'll actually start on time.
Yeah.
But yeah, from me, thank you so much, everyone who actually watched. And thank you so much, guys, for playing. I know I'm having lots of fun. I hope you are too.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah.
Have a great week.
Thank you so
Cheers.
much, guys.
Bye-bye.